Welcome in, everybody.
Except for Jordan.
Jorgensen,
He's not.
you unfollowed, and now hi. You're ready. We got to watch some Magic. Are you guys ready? Here we are, and now we got to watch Magic.
We do.
Let's do this. Tuesday Night Legacy.
Elves and Miracles. Good.
Jorgensen, you were here. Do you like having a countdown timer? A few minutes to start to get in here, so that you're not missing out on the first couple plays of Magic. All right. What do we have?
We got Elves and Miracles.
You were just telling me what's green black elves.
Green black elves. So it's elves, right?
Yeah.
So it's the shell of natural order elves with all your mana dorks, your 4 Gaia's Cradles. But you play Bayous, 2 Bayous, for Assassin's Trophy, Abrupt Decay, and Thoughtseize. In this case, Ryan actually plays Cabal Therapy instead of Thoughtseize. But basically, what does that mean? You're basically playing removal for cards like Chalice, big Planeswalker threats with the Assassin's Trophy, and then Thoughtseize for combo. One thing is, Elves is a slower combo deck. I know that's kind of silly to say, but against decks like Storm and Reanimator, it doesn't have a way to interact. So Cabal Therapies out of the main board, or out of the sideboard, excuse me, are going to give it a decent way of interacting. So
I feel like it would shore up the matchup against Miracles a little bit too.
Maybe. It'll be interesting to see, because generally in this matchup, actually, Counterbalance is kind of the biggest kind of powerhouse.
Yeah.
And so Abrupt Decay, we're going to see, is probably going to be the main consideration bringing in. I'm not sure if he'll bring in Cabal Therapy, but definitely we're going to see Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay kind of hedge against Miracles. The problem with this matchup is, as we see Counterbalance go down immediately, is Elves need to go wide no matter what, and can't really protect themselves from a good Terminus. Right. And that's what makes this match even harder. Is if they land a Counterbalance, and then you're always just Terminus is always on the horizon.
Which is always the problem against decks that are using something like Thoughtseize.
Correct, yeah.
To hedge against Counterbalance when it's sitting on top of the
You can't stop the top of the deck, correct.
Yeah. So that was an Overgrown Tomb that Ryan led with.
So basically, there's the Bayou.
Yeah.
So one of the... At this point, you see Wooded Foothills and Bayou. I mean, do you even think it's Elves, or do you think maybe we're looking at some sort of rock deck, some sort of aggro loam?
It could be several decks at this point. The Wooded Foothills is kind of weird. Because if you're playing blue, you probably wouldn't.
Yeah, that's why I think aggro loam at this point.
And Corey probably doesn't know what Ryan's playing?
I don't think so. Corey's been out of the game for just a little bit, and Ryan's a little bit newer.
Let me fix this timer. It's wrong.
It's interesting to see this start from Ryan. I'm not sure if he mulliganed or not, but he went to turn 2 not playing anything. And then the deck that's running Quern Ranger, I was about to say Festival Elf. What's the elf that you tap 3 elves to make 3 mana? It's not Festival Elf.
No.
Hermitid? No.
Yeah, the Druid.
Hermit Elf? Hermit Druid? It's not Hermit Druid. Jorgensen, what is this card that I've seen a million years?
You just asked me the wrong question.
Happy Elf.
Heritage Druid.
Heritage Druid. Okay, Heritage Druid. Okay, wow. Okay, so with Heritage Druids, Quern Rangers, Symbiotes, Dryad Arbors, Nettle Sentinels, I'm shocked that we didn't see anything in turn 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But here's the fetching for a Dryad Arbor. I'm curious to see what his follow-up is.
Maybe he's got the Abrupt Decay already, and so he's just kind of waiting?
Maybe. There's Glimpse, so he's going to go off the Glimpse.
Gonna try.
That's tough, because with Corey having a stacked Counterbalance right now, and if Corey knows he's on Elves, he's going to stack the 1. And you know what? I think most of the time, if you're in the blind, stacking 1 isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
But that's huge. Glimpse is one of the few cards that Ryan can kind of rebuild in this matchup, and him losing the Glimpse right off the bat.
Yeah, if that had been a land on top and Corey didn't have a way to, like a brainstorm effect, Ryan could have easily gone off right there, right?
Gotten 3 extra cards, survive, get Terminus maybe a turn later because Corey doesn't have the white mana. But it's one of those things where he could rebuild it easier off of that. Oh. The one thing with Elves, though, is sometimes you can have a fast turn, combo off on 3 natural order and kill someone, and sometimes you just don't have it. So that's kind of another thing too. But at this point, with Ryan having a slow start, Corey's just going to look to stabilize.
Claymore, welcome in. We just are getting started ourselves. We're here on like turn, what is this? Turn 3 now for Ryan.
Turn 4 because the Dryad Arbor.
And Corey's a little stuck on the 2 lands.
That's Which, as a deck, so one thing that we've seen Miracles kind of change to, Miracles only runs 19 to 20 lands nowadays.
Mm.
Now, when you're on 17 cantrips, you think that you'd find your lands. After playing the deck for about a month and a half, even I've kind of got to the point where a lot of the games where I falter on is this issue. And you wouldn't think that in a deck like Miracles where you're constantly cantripping, but it happens, and this is kind of the nature of the beast.
So that was kind of risky for Ryan to run yet another glimpse into a potential.
Yeah.
I guess there again, you just kind of have to go for it.
Yeah.
But we know he has Abrupt Decay, right? So he could wait.
The only thing it is there any in the main board. He may just be sideboarding all of them.
Sure. All right, so Corey finds a Tundra through that Brainstorm. He goes ahead and counterbalances the Glimpse.
And then without Assassin's Trophy or Abrupt Decay, there's no way for Ryan to interact with his mentor, so it allows Corey to go wide. There's another Glimpse.
Let's try it again.
So maybe he's... Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's that same Swords of Plowshare over and over again.
just 3 glimpses, that's all.
At this point, I mean, if it's Miracles versus X deck, if you get 3 counterbalance triggers, I just can't imagine that other deck winning.
Right. Unless he already had some sort of pressure of some sort, which he doesn't. He wasn't even attacking with that Dryad Arbor when he could have attacked.
Yeah, this gets to the point where Corey's just going to stabilize, and I think Ryan's best line is just going to be to go wide to make it so maybe Corey has to do an ill-advised Terminus against his own guys and have enough guys to where Corey maybe feels like he doesn't need a Terminus, and then just get him with a Natural Order and a Crater Hoof Behemoth.
And even then, you probably aren't dealing with lethal at that point.
It's going to be tough. It's definitely an uphill battle. I mean, even if he does find the Abrupt Decay, I mean, you could argue that you need to Abrupt Decay the Mentor right now, just to, Yeah, that's true. I mean, Jorgensen's got a great point. There's 3 glimpses that are down.
Yeah, I would feel really happy if I was a Miracles player against Elves at this point, right?
Yeah,
You feel really, really safe. So then it's really playing, it's that logic of what do you play to, what are your possible ways to lose this match?
Yeah.
And avoid those, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember this game, talking about ways to lose matches. There was a game where I had a Liliana Last Hope, a Jace the Mind Sculptor, and I'm pretty sure like Tassiger on the board against you. But I also had a Sylvan Library, and I had paid like 16 life on the Sylvan Library, and you like snap bolted me to kill me.
That doesn't sound like something I would do.
But Paul's got an interesting question about Sphere Effects versus Miracles. Sphere Effects, cards like Trinisphere, obviously. That's a good point. I mean, they do run 17 cantrips, so landing a Trinisphere against a deck like Miracles seems just like a house. Even Chalice the Void is probably better than ever against Miracles. Yeah, they have AK, they have counterbalance, but if you can shut down, 15 to 17 cards in someone's deck, I think that's a good trade-off for 1 card.
Yeah. Well, for those decks that work for it, right? That it works for is what I mean. You can't just suddenly throw a sphere into several decks and have it.
I get
effective.
I don't think you're going to see a little Storm all of a sudden go turn 1
right,
Dark
right,
Ritual.
Right. Yeah, but is it more effective now that they're land light? Sure. If a combo deck had an effect down against Corey when he was sitting only on 2 lands, that makes sense.
Oh wow.
Counterbalance is just going to stop.
Ryan just can't buy a bucket
everything.
At this point.
Yeah. So we get to watch Miracles eventually end this game, and then we'll see some potential different sideboard matches.
I would like to see one thing I didn't catch is if Ryan mulliganed to 6, because this just seemed like a hand that really didn't do anything the first 2 turns, and generally I think Elves just wants to go pretty fast and stable. So I'm guessing maybe he took a mulligan, had a land that had lands, and maybe 2 glimpses, and figured, hey, this is a good keeper. It's a little slow. Yeah, see, at that point, that makes sense. So mulligan with the scry at the bottom, if you have the lands and 2 glimpses, I think you can kind of tell yourself, I'm going to draw into the creatures. So kind of an unfortunate start from Ryan, too.
That's a Jace that Corey just played that's all nice and super glared. We have most of our glare fixed. The way we fix lighting is if anything's right at the bottom of the screen like that, it's going to be nice and shiny. But I don't think this matters.
Yeah. I mean, that could be almost any planeswalker at this point.
Yeah.
You could have a Dovin Ball.
HC Fox's favorite card is called Counterbalance.
Counterbalance.
He thinks it's the most fair card there is. He thinks top should be unbanned so that it can be more fair. Hey, HC Fox, thanks for resubscribing.
The thing with Counterbalance is, it's kind of interesting to think about it. Did you watch the Eternal Weekend Finals?
Maybe.
It was the way Counterbalance kind of stole one of the games was just blind flipping,
right?
And that's kind of like the interesting like concept of it is it's the blind flips I feel like that people get frustrated by, not the actual like manipulation.
Right. All right, so our backup match is just a little different game of Magic.
Yeah.
Kyre's on your left playing some dredge, and it looks like he's successfully done some dredging. And Christian's playing Dead Guy Ale, which... Oh, no, he's not. He's playing Esper.
No, he's
Esper.
playing... he's playing a Dead Guy. I'm going to... Just because I know his deck and I've tried to help him with that, we're going to say he's playing a Stoneblade variant that is very light and blue. That's mana-based. Probably should be Dead Guy Ales, but he's playing blue cards. If that makes sense.
Okay.
One thing that's kind of odd, we see a Scrubland and a Krakus and a Plains, and then you see a Force Will that removed a counterspell. It's not necessarily the greatest mana base.
That's next level
world,
right there.
But he's working on it. But his eventual goal is to build Esper Blade, and I think it's one of those things where he's gotten a lot of the blue cards and he's just a little excited.
Esper almost Blade. I don't know. We'll call it Esper Blade.
I think it's called Esper Blade.
There we are.
So this must be game one. So Batterskull is swinging it pretty well, but the inevitability of the bridges, game one, I think it's just going to... I mean, Dredge needs to win game one, and I just can't imagine... it's really tough. This Batterskull, if Christian maybe had a swords or something, or... Well, he can't even sword his own guy, right? Because how does bridge work? Is it when it dies?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can't sword his own guy. It's kind of a weird predicament.
So Kyre kind of wants to build up enough that he can, in one swing, get it all right.
Mm-hmm.
And Christian probably can't do much about that.
The interesting thing is the best thing that Christian could probably do is some sort of true name play with like Jete, but the problem, the mana base isn't going to really allow that. Going off a Dead Guy Ale, one thing that could be pretty big is I think he runs Lingering Souls, so maybe having like a Lingering Soul with like a Batterskull just attached to it, swinging every turn, may lethal Kyre.
Ooh, yeah, he can move the Batterskull. That gets rid of the bridges.
This is tough though. Stoneblade versus Dredge, usually game one is just so favored for Dredge, and I mean I think that's true with almost any deck, right? Dredge needs to win game one for it to even have a chance. Yeah, he's right about bouncing the Batterskull. If he unequips it, the Germ will die because the Germ's a 0/0, so bouncing the Batterskull will do it as well. Yep. So that's a great interaction too.
It also might be... He might not see that.
I don't think he does.
I probably wouldn't.
We also haven't seen it. We haven't seen his turn yet, too. So he may have a play at the end of Kyre's turn as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's going to do that, you know? That's a good point, though.
I am curious to see our sideboard matches, though. So we'll jump back to Elves versus Miracles to see if we can get something a little bit different than turn 2 Counterbalance that ends the game. In the meantime, you get a look at Kyre with his graveyard all out in front of him. Very Dredge-esque. I like how Dredge players, you have to have your graveyard laid out, right?
Yeah, of course.
You can't just have it all piled up.
I want to meet the one Dredge player who just has it like in a pile and just memorizes everything.
And then, of course, Storm players have a certain way that they play Magic. It's kind of like Esper control players back before there was Modern, right? Where you all laid out your lands a certain way.
Yeah.
And how players kind of start copying the play styles of other players. It's enjoyable. You have to slot cards in and keep your graveyard order in Legacy when you don't have to do that in Modern. Uh-oh. Have we begun? Oh. AC Fox started.
Oh, he did given his land. Oh, yeah.
He might
that is a scrub land.
Out. Like if it gets wastelanded or something, is what you're saying?
I think Scrubland's like is the least played dual. No, Plateau. I always forget. I don't like really count that as a dual land.
No. There's only 9.
There's only 9.
And then there's one that's really, really not good.
Yeah. I mean,
that's Badlands. All right. So as we watch these guys not do much for a little while, we're gonna jump back over and watch Miracles versus Elves. And my guess is that that other match will still be playing when these guys finish up. So we'll be able to go back.
So just so you guys know, as we went back, Christian did return the Basilisk end of turn. So that's something that's good. And he killed the bridges. So I'm glad he saw that interaction.
Yeah, and if he'd had a chance, he probably should have done it sooner. It looks like Kyr just flashed back some things and got more tokens, but he saw it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Game 2. Let me update that for you. Corey gets the automatic win off of counterbalance. And
Ryan's mulliganing again. Corey's kept.
They're liabilities. Oh dear.
I like Scrubland.
If you play with an unlimited plateau, then you're okay.
I don't even know if that's true. That isn't that weird? What's the story behind the plateau art? It's like it had to do with the rights of the artist or something.
No, I
right?
think they just lost it.
Oh, they lost it.
That's my understanding. There's so many stories out there though that you hear one enough, like for the Nick Fit deck name, for example, where that becomes the known reason why, and then you find out later that that's not true.
I've either narrowed it down to the guy just thought it's nice, it's a nice fit, or it's the guy. People said that the guy was a chain smoker and he was having a nicotine fit when he was putting the get together. It's one of those two. That's what I put it down
I think there's a different reason actually.
It's probably something different.
Beta is the only one, and Alpha.
My favorite story is probably Evergreen, the old black-green deck that they used to run just Termagoy and like Him-to-Torox. It's because the guy liked the actress Evergreen. That's it.
That's where he gets the name from.
Yeah, 100% it.
Yeah.
Doesn't have anything to do with
It'd be
colors.
great if we were able to name decks like that and have if AK Miracles had its own deck name and
now we have
unique
Jeskai Control and Is It Drakes and
and it gets bad to the point where we have these guild names for decks that don't have any bearing.
Yeah, I saw a deck that was Azorius Control, and I looked it up, and it was Miracles, and I was like, what?
Yeah, right.
That's not Azorius Control.
Bring back cereal again! People will have no idea why we're naming things after cereals. It'll be great.
So we're just going to go get the Dryad Arbor. So we're going to get the Quirion Ranger and the Dryad Arbor interaction here, which is good. I wouldn't be shocked if we see a Swords on the Dryad Arbor, just because, I mean, getting a 1-mana Stone Rain is pretty good.
Especially if it adds more than just the 1-mana turn.
Ryan's not in a bad spot though if he gets to untap. I mean, a Visionary, just something where he can kind of rebuild. So,
is that why we went away from naming cereal decks? There's too many cereals.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't even remember the cereal decks. I don't even want to get into it because I don't remember any good decks being cereal named.
All right, so no turn 2 or turn 3 play.
So he's counting. I don't know if you can, just by Ryan's gesture, he's got something up his sleeves. I'm hoping we see some sort of, Okay, there's this guy, as I called him, Festival Elf.
Festival, yeah, he's a party guy. He's got a lot of history.
He does.
It gets counterspelled.
It's not the worst thing in the world. But something to keep in mind is Heritage Druid couldn't really even activate yet.
Yeah, you can't rename a deck. That doesn't work. You can't just suddenly, I'm playing this deck and it's now named this. It's like, no, it already had a name. You have to come up with something different.
So here's a power Terminus. Here's a free 2-for-1.
Oh, neat. Terminus off the top.
Yeah.
Blind. Cool. That was neat. Look what I did. I drew a card and didn't accidentally put it in my hand first.
I think Terminus is more of a problem than Counterbalance is. That's where HC and I Fox different. We're on the same side of the aisle, just one of us is more extremist than the other. I don't know who's the more extreme one, but see, I think Terminus has always been the problem with Miracles, not necessarily Counterbalance, because you can beat Counterbalance by just playing a higher curve,
or a manland,
yeah,
or something. You're right. There's lots of ways a deck can build around Counterbalance, and you can interact with it.
Yeah,
and Terminus, in a lot of ways, you can't.
I mean, there's a point usually in the game where you're playing a deck like Delver or you're playing a turn sideways deck where you kind of have to put your big boy pants on and say, I'm no longer playing around Terminus because I need to win this game before they Terminus me. And, you know, sometimes you get there and sometimes you get Terminus.
Especially when a deck like Miracles can cantrip through so many cards to find it, right? It's no longer a 1 out of 60.
It's crazy to think there's a Miracles deck that did really well recently that ran 1 Wasteland, and people are like, this just doesn't make sense. Why would they run 1 Wasteland? But again, when you're running so many cantrips, it's not that hard to find it.
So you're saying Terminus is the reason that Death and Taxes isn't like the best deck? Is that the argument?
Yeah, but Grixis Control just like takes Death and Taxes to the yard really hard. It's just there's AK number 1.
2 mana, draw 1 card. Perfect. Efficiency right there. Feels like standard.
If it was standard, I think it would probably be like a sorcerer. No, a Radical Idea is instant. Yeah. He basically standard players he just Radical Idea'd. Source Stallion, Wrath, yeah.
This is a weird match so far. Elves just hasn't been able to really do anything. He's still got cards in hand, which is perplexing to me.
Yeah,
what are those cards?
It makes you wonder if maybe he's got the Assassin's Trophies in the Abrupt Decays, like unlike he did in Game 1. And, you know, that's kind of the problem with combo decks is when you board in anti-hate, and then you end up drawing it, and it kind of eludes your combo, what you're trying to do. Because Corey getting to 5 mana, I mean, he's got a Forcible in his hand. He can hardcast that, which is kind of ironic. I mean, one way Ryan can kind of beat Corey in a long game is just outvaluing him. And we're even getting to the point where Corey having access to so much mana is just, and now with the 1 AK, I mean, if Ryan has to do something, Corey eventually is just going to AK for 3.
Yeah.
And just going to be staring at him with 7 cards in hand.
Yeah, and this Dread Arbor should be attacking, right? Like, at the very least, if he doesn't have a play.
Unless Snapcaster. If you're at the point where he's missing land drops, which we've kind of noticed, and if you, a Snapcaster on like a you know, may just be toned, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Just being a little bit conservative with your Dryad Arbor.
So this is a Green Sun for 0, which means it's a Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, it's interesting. Wonder why it's getting on a Dryad Arbor.
I would think any other spell there, creature.
Yeah, doing it for 1 at least, and getting like a Symbiote or a Quern Ranger, just to try to set up something.
And I have never played Elves, never once, but I've played against it enough to go, all right, I know what you're trying to do usually, and so far I'm a little confused.
There's usually cards that you got to kill in sight. One of them's Symbiote. Quern Ranger is one that's not super kill in sight, but it's definitely, you can do some good stuff with Dryad Arbor, and those are 2 ones that really enable. Heritage Druid is another one. So yeah, I'm curious to see why he would decide to get in a Dryad Arbor, especially because if Corey gets another Terminus, he's going to lose 2 lands and 2 creatures. So he's, you know, I feel like he's struggling with land, it seems like. But I don't know if giving him an extra green source is going to be the right solution. Now, this one's got Summoning Sickness.
That one or that one? Yeah, I don't think it matters at this point. Okay. Kyra's playing tonight. So he's actually on our backup match right now playing some Dredge.
What's the crop rotation?
Yeah. Kyra and I will be here this Saturday day. We have a large, what are we calling it? It's a Heroes League qualifier for our big tournament in December. And is it team?
No,
Saturday? It's
this
Legacy.
Saturday's not team, but this one leads into the team.
Yeah. So Kyra and I will be here all day Saturday showing you guys some Paper Legacy like this.
She's got the Cradle. So that would have been good. So having 2 Dryad Arbors with Cradle is really good because they generate 4 mana off of 2. So I could see Ryan's line is he just wanted to get as much mana as possible, which kind of makes sense now. But he's got to do something. It's the point where you can't, you know, I can't stress this enough, but playing this waiting game and draw game with Corey is not going to end well because your best turns are those 3 through 5 turns, and just having way past those, you're now got to hope that Corey just doesn't have Snapcast or doesn't have counter magic. Okay. So Corey's got 2 Force of Wills. So he's not dying to a natural order, but he's got to ask himself, what is he going to use his Force of Wills for?
Right. I think at this point you save him, right? You save him for the payoff card. Either the natural order or the glimpse.
I think the way Ryan's playing is I think he's showing a big mana payoff. Yeah. And I think there it is. There's natural order. Yeah. So hard cast Force should pick this guy up pretty easily. It's going to sack the Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, and I guess the Netta Sentinel was a bait, but well, I'll just lead with this, and then, I mean, it worked. It was mana efficient, right? Still. Brainstorm first, okay.
If Corey's got a Terminus, he may just be thinking, I'll just take the slog hit and then just Terminus next turn. Because Ryan's got 2 cards in his hand, so basically, if Corey can come out of this, he's probably thinking, if I can come out, well, he's shuffling now, so I think we're just going to see the hard cast Force. Yeah. But I think that's what Corey was thinking. If I can come out of this using a Terminus and still have both my forces for pretty much the next natural order, I think I have this game in the bag. So I think that's what we just saw there, but now I think we're just going to see the hard cast Force in the natural order.
And if your Brainstorm reveals that Terminus or something else,
then you can play maybe a little bit differently.
Yeah. Yep.
And now, like I said, you're 13 life and you're staring down a 2/2 that doesn't untap.
He just leaves the Force of Will out there.
Yeah.
Ah, remember this? No, I'm just kidding. Tree Murderer. HC Fox says, no. He clearly exiled it. That's not.
He plowed it.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can plow a tree, but
you feel like that was going to be a natural order for a symbiote.
Well, it wasn't. You could have.
Mentor with a Force plus blue card backup.
Yeah, this is. Now we're getting in the same thing as kind of the last game, except just Sans counterbalance. And I don't even think at that point, it just doesn't matter. I mean, we need to see like a glimpse. So if we go glimpse into Heritage Druid, into another Nettle Sentinel, into Elvis Visionary.
None of them get countered and there's never a Terminus.
Then I think there's a chance. I mean, Ryan's gonna have a really complicated line. If I'm Ryan, All
right, hold on. HC Fox now has successfully ripped Counterbalance and I think Terminus and Monastery Mistake. So, what is a good Magic card?
I don't know. I think Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Was it like Crawworm was the last well-balanced?
We're talking HC Fox. So Phyrexian Dreadnought's basically like the dogma of Magic.
Well, yeah, but that's unfair for him. Like he breaks it. Oh, okay. He never ripped Terminus. I'm sorry, I missed that.
One mana board wipes are fine.
Yeah, perfectly fine.
I think Monastery Mentor's fine.
Oh, right. He was defending it. Never mind. This is a Green Sun for Lawnmower Elves. And
where's Captain QC? Captain QC would be on this Terminus thing. As a fellow Maverick aficionado, he understands the pain of dying Terminuses. There's another Force of Will Corey just picked up, so now he has 2. And here comes Counterbalance. Yeah. This is just deja vu.
Yeah.
This is what Corey wants to be doing. This is what Ryan doesn't want Corey to be doing.
And just like any other combo deck, if you dirtle around long enough, you're going to lose, right? And Elves feels a little different because you still are putting things on the board.
Elves is definitely different because you got to put your chips on the table. With Storm, you can just kind of sit back there with your 7, draw, Thoughtseize, just wait, right? Mm-hmm. It almost seems like waiting for you is a little bit better. But the thing with Elves is you got to put your guys forward, and those guys become vulnerable to removal. I'm fine somebody like Toxic Deluging a Knight for 7. Like, it's not, you know.
You feel like winning when you do that.
Like okay,
success.
This guy was a 3 mana 7 damage spell.
Hey, look, counterbalance
Yeah.
just says counter any spell that Ryan plays. That's what it's been so far. He's, I think, 5 for 5 now.
I think he is. I don't think he's missed one. Yeah. Okay.
We know Corey has multiple rats. Force of Will.
You're correct, but there's always a chance.
Corey's looking at him like, do I really want to do this to him?
There's always a chance.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Maybe there's, I don't know, Mind Break Trap? No, it needs to be 4 spells. Ryan's only got 1 card. I know Ryan's sideboard's Mind Break Trap, but
he holds priority and surgical extracts the Force of Will.
That would have been. And this, I wonder if Ryan, I'm assuming Ryan would have gotten Crater Hoof, but you know what would have been really good if this doesn't get forced, Progenitus. Because the next turn you just swing, kill him. And Corey can't do anything to interact with it. Or Terminus, I guess, but still. This is pretty much game here.
All right, we're going to peek over at our other match here because I agree. This will just take a few more turns. All right, here we are. We've got Dredge versus Esper Blade.
So another, Plains Academy Runes. Kind of an interesting start. So let's see here. So let's kind of talk about Christian's angle, because Dredge is not a mystery what they're trying to do. So what is Christian boarding in? He probably has access to Rest in Peace,
which would be great.
The only way he doesn't is I don't know how many Snapcasters he runs. Generally, the rule of thumb is if you're running 2 or more Snapcasters, you don't run Rest in Peace. You just run Surgical. But I could see him running Rest in Peace. 3 Surgicals is pretty standard. And then, of course, whatever his name, Gravedafter's Cage.
Gravedigger's Cage, yeah.
That one's pretty good. I've been a fan of that one more recently. I've been running the 3-1, just 3 Surgical and the Cage. It kind of catches all. It hits a Green Sun Zenith too, and with a lot more loam decks and stuff like that, it's been useful. And Natural Order, stops Natural Order as well. So Christian's strategy here is simple. He needs to Surgical the Icarids and Surgical the Bridges, and if he can do that, he's probably going to win.
Yeah.
And that's how you beat Dredge. I think where people get in trouble is they get nervous. They start to see these dredges happen. They start to see these combos happen. And then all of a sudden, they Surgical Golgari Grave Troll. They Surgical Stinkweed Imp. Because they feel like they're on, they're pressured to do something. And then before you know it, that's not the way they're going to kill you. They're going to kill you through their Bridges and their Icarids. And I think that's why Dredge does really well every once in a while, is because it's like people forget to play against it, or people just are unfamiliar with it. Maybe somebody like Christian, who mainly plays Modern, doesn't realize that, hey, if you can just Surgical the Bridges and Surgical the Icarids, you're just going to be fighting 1/1 flyers. And with the Stoneforge and a Battle Skull, you're going to win.
This is a pretty good answer. Containment Priest does a lot. It stops a lot. It doesn't kill the deck.
Yeah.
Like a Rest in Peace could or something else. As somebody in chat just said, it stops things from entering the grave from graveyard to play, right?
Yeah,
or
so
from
you can stop Icarids
and Narcomoebas and all that good stuff. But it doesn't stop the bridge token. So all he has to do now is get rid of the bridges.
Keep in mind, because that's a great point, especially because if you stop the Narcomoeba and the Icarid interaction, it's going to severely limit the bridges anyways. Yeah. So now he has time. I hate to bring this up again, but 2 Jaces in hand again. This is kind of a crucial example to why construction of a mana base is so important. You got to be able to catch cards. At this point, Kyre's dredging, so I don't know if he's got some sort of. He doesn't have Faithless Looting mana. So what is he? He's got a Stinkweed and a Gemstone Mine in hand. So I don't know if he's looking for some sort of maybe Faithless Looting because he has the 3 lands, or at one point does he need to start drawing? Narcomoeba gets exiled, I believe, but it may be a May trigger. I'm not too sure. But what's Kyre's plan here? I think it's got to be some sort of. This is the part where I struggle with Dredge. When do you start to draw? Like, what's the point where you're I can't Dredge anymore because I can't beat this? And me being unfamiliar with the deck, I'm kind of thinking, he can cast a Stinkweed Imp. That's the point too. When the Dredge player starts to cast a Stinkweed Imp, you feel a little good. There's the Faithless Looting, so Kyre can flashback Faithless Looting, But one thing to say, Christian does have Spell Pierce, and Kyre knows about that too.
Right.
So Kyre's going to continue to dredge. He's going to hit another bridge. He's going to hit 2 more bridges.
So now he wants what, a Cabal Therapy as a way to.
He's still though. I mean, it's still not, you know, but they won't trigger because yeah. I think he's going to cast a Stinkweed Imp and then Cabal Therapy and get 4 more zombies. I think that's the best line. If that's the line he's on, I'm not sure why he just didn't slam the Stinkweed Imp last turn. But I think he's thinking about the Faithless Looting a lot. But he's gonna make the decision now because he's gonna lose this land, so he's not gonna be able to go back from it. So we're gonna see if it's the Faithless Looting or is it the Stinkweed Imp. I like the Stinkweed Imp play because it enables Cabal Therapy and you get 3 tokens, and you can't Spell Pierce it too.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know why he didn't do it last turn. I don't know if he was waiting to dredge something, but I like that Force of Will. Yeah. It looks strange, but it's really good.
After talking through it, when we realized that's really his only play for a while.
And you know when you got
sees it.
He's got 2 Jaces too, so it's good. Yeah. Because Kyre can't really interact with the Jaces.
He needed more bridges. That's maybe what his thinking was.
I mean, you know, we talk about these plays and like the dials up of stuff like that. One thing we saw Christian's hand, you know what card Kyre and we didn't know about? The Force of Will.
Right.
So if he plays that Stinkweed Imp last turn, I don't think Christian draws that Force of Will. So that's something to keep. You know, people always kind of talk about matches up and like, you know, how they lost, what was the defining moment, and it's sometimes these kind of hesitant moments where you're playing around something or you're worried about something. But sometimes just being able to commit to a line and kind of owning it is sometimes the best thing to do.
Christian still has some work to do though.
He does, but he's in a pretty good position.
Yeah, if he can get a Jace down and start bouncing tokens,
you know.
Or a Batter Skull.
Yeah.
Several things, right? And Kyre's kind of stuck.
I think we're going to see Kyre draw soon. I really do.
Yeah. Is there anything that's worth dredging at the moment?
The only thing I can think of is he's got the little guy, the Thug, because he's 2 mana, right?
Okay.
I'm not a fan. Like, I wouldn't mind living on the life of just playing my Thugs out. Okay, there's the draw. Lion's Eye Diamond's not terrible. It turns on Faithless Looting, but again, we're not going to see value out of it.
Right. If there wasn't a priest out, that'd be all right.
Tell you one thing: if Christian can get engineered explosives, that'd be really good too. Because to get the Academy runes, you can just cycle it back and blow.
Yeah, he has a lot more live draws at this point, right?
So Kyro's going to go for the Faithless Looting play.
Okay.
Which I would Spell Pierce, or no? Would I Spell Pierce this? So he's just going to dredge a ton. So what kind of Ancient Grudge doesn't affect Containment Priest? I can't. You know, I've been fighting the Great Dredge War for a long time, and I just can't think of what Kyre's looking for.
He gets imps back to his hand, I guess, right?
But then he's got to draw the lands, though. I don't think he has the salvage card. And you're losing all your Narcomoebas, you know?
Oh, he doesn't get them back, though.
He doesn't, because the Containment Priest. Yeah. So it's kind of... This sounds weird. Drawing a Narcomoeba is not bad, because you can cast it. And it flies and attacks, you know?
Yeah. I don't think this Faithless Looting does anything.
I don't think it does either. But there could be something. Kyre may have some sort of tech that just dredging is going to help him find it. Well, there's the Nature's Claim, which again is okay. Nature's Claim's not really doing anything. So he's some Snapcaster. Okay.
Sure.
All the bridges go away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that makes a lot more sense. So, and that was the one thing that Containment Priest couldn't stop, right? There we go. So Kyre's kind of stuck with this 2/2 zombie that Christian has lots of ways to deal with.
I think is that a conceit or is that an organization? I don't know.
I think he realizes that's it.
No, he's okay.
He's gonna play it out.
I think he's gonna. That signals that he's gonna draw now. This is like you've transformed and you're going into the draw. I like the Wasteland. I would have Wastelanded.
Yeah.
The thing with Christian is he can block with the Containment Priest and he's still alive.
I think he picked up the graveyard actually in order.
I think he did too.
He did it pretty methodically. Containment Priest 2.
Containment Priest.
Okay.
Well, zombies did good work. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Wasteland here. 2 Nature's Claims. Hey, if you want to draw 2 cards, those are the 2 cards you want to draw. So you got a Wasteland, Christian. I think there's no reason not to. I think you don't want Kyra to cast any spells.
Unless you're just jamming Jace here. I guess that's the only reason why.
Doesn't have the right mana to do it.
Oh, yeah. Then, absolutely.
It's a Containment Priest.
Yeah, it's not actually a masterpiece. We don't call them that.
What do we call those?
They get their own thing. They're invocations, and masterpieces are cool. Invocations, not so much.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of miss Calvin having all the masterpieces, and I feel like I kind of was one of the reasons why he got rid of them, because he bought forces, and now I kind of miss it. They're kind of cool when you have all of them.
Oh yeah,
he had all of them. It was cool, and now we have none.
Aww. Well, we have this Containment Priest that everybody's questioning what it is.
It looks weird. Looks like he's getting beamed up. Or he looks like he's an alien coming down from a spacecraft. There's mana.
From this distance.
I like these draws. If I'm a dredge player, you want to draw lands and you want to draw nature's claims. Again, you got to see a wasteland here. You can't let him cast a Stinkweed Imp.
Yeah, Kyra doesn't have a play though, right? He's just I think he's
yeah. I think it's a fallacy you see with a lot of dredge players is they give up too easily, and I think a lot of times. Sometimes when you keep hands that are very surgical or graveyard hate and you get rid of all their stuff, sometimes you can die to a Stinkweed Imp just because you've kind of used all your resources and now you don't have anything. Maybe you kept a sketchy, mana hand too. Let's see here.
All right, so we're at 11 to...
He drew a Coliseum. All right. What these 4 draws, not one... It's kind of funny to say that, but I think he's surgically.
He would have drawn. No, he's just conceding.
So there's no way. Yeah, the Containment Priest was good, very good.
It worked, and Kyra maybe could have had a line like you were saying.
Yeah, I think so. I think Kyra played that pretty well. It was a tough spot. One thing I liked was. From Kyra was the going for that Stinkweed Cabal Therapy play. I think he was just a turn too late.
So I don't know if that was game 2 or 3, but it looks like Christian won that match.
Let me
de-sideboarding.
I want to ask Christian about the battle.
And our other match is already over.
Hey, you knew about battle. I rewatched it and went away.
So we've got 12 players tonight. And we've seen some different decks tonight, right? We saw Miracles and a black-green Elves. We never got to see any black cards out of Elves. It kind of puttered around for a minute. And then this Esper Blade deck, I think, is a little bit of a brew. It's got some different things going on. And some dredge. I'm not sure what else we have in the room. I know Brian's playing. He's usually on Food Chain. And... we get to see Kyra's sideboard there.
Because I think did you have the force roll at that point? Because we knew you. Yeah.
He only had all of that graveyard removal. Is that all? Containment Priest, Surgicals, Ley Lines, and Rest in Peace. Wow. It says I don't want to lose to dredge. We don't actually have a lot of dredge players here, but I think we do. We have 2 of our 12 tonight, which is a little funny. All right, so for you guys in chat, I mentioned it earlier, but since we're here in between rounds at the moment, we have a Legacy tournament here that we are going to stream this Saturday, and it starts at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. and that's Mountain. Let me double check that. It might start at 11. But anyway, regardless, it'll be a pretty decent sized tournament with some decent prizes on the line. It's our qualifier for our big tournament at the end of the year, and so we'll have a cut to top 8. We'll be playing Magic until 6 p.m. at least. We'll have a good 8 hours of Magic.
So yeah, that was game 3. So
okay,
sounds like Christian lost game 1. Even though he had that Battle Skull play, Kyra had just such a developed board where he was to push through and beat him. And then games 2 and 3 kind of went like that, where it was just there's too much surgical hate and Containment Priest. And, Containment Priest did really well there. Really, nothing more to say than that.
So there goes your weekend. Perfect. You can be doing other things while you watch Magic, right? So this is Saturday, December 1st, and it starts at 11 a.m., and that's Mountain Time. Normally we start at 7 p.m. for this stream, right? If that helps. Most people can figure out
Yeah.
What 11
I'll
a.m.
just show up around noon.
And like I said, we should be going for quite a while.
Should have what, at least 5 to 6 rounds of Swiss, and then
And then it cuts to top 8. Yeah.
So solid 8 to 9 rounds.
Yeah. And that'll be me and Kai are here streaming. And these are people that are playing for a spot at our
the Heroes League Championship.
the Heroes League, and that's a team event. And that's December. What is that?
It's got to be on here, right?
So this is all on Paragon City's Facebook page. If you guys are local,
It's end of the year, yeah.
and want to see the different numbers on.
I hope we're streaming the. Do you know if we're streaming the championship?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that'll be a fun one to watch because you're gonna get to see all 3 formats.
The championship's December 29th. Yeah, and I'm not sure if we're doing a 24-hour stream like we did last year or not.
I kind of heard rumors we are.
We'll
I heard
definitely
Jorgensen's
talk
coming,
about it.
so I think so. You know, I'm playing in the Heroes League Championship.
Nice.
You know what format I'm playing?
No.
Standard.
what is
I'm
that?
standard. I'm playing standard. I'm the standard player on my team.
Somebody's gonna hand you a deck and say,
Yeah,
"Play this."
I've been playing Arena. I've been practicing on Arena, so I know what the cards are. But I'm not gonna have any paper practice, and I need to start playing the mode where there's game 2 and 3s because I only play the game 1 mode. So I got game 1 short up really well, but I got to figure out games 2.
That'll be fun.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'll probably be streaming that.
I'm actually horrified.
Most of it.
To be quite honest, I'm kind of secretly trying to find a standard player just to play for me.
Who's your teammates at the moment?
It's Stockton and Zach.
Okay.
So Stockton's on Modern, Zach's on Legacy, and
that'll be fun.
So, but I feel good about it. I'm doing well in Magic Arena. Standard's not that complicated, you know. You get to run cards like Treasure Map. You get to run cards like what other cards do I run in my deck? Expansion, Explosion. I mean, there's some neat stuff that's going on.
That's a good card.
I run 4 Niz Mizzets.
that feels good when you play that.
Yeah,
it feels like you're cheating.
Yeah, it does.
When you successfully get that at an arena and things just start popping up all over the place every time anything happens. Let's see. We don't have any more time in the round, so we should have round 2 for you guys here pretty soon. Wait, you play as Kanta?
That's what I do.
And then Settle the Wreckage, and then Teferi, and then you win?
No. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of it.
I usually end up playing red cards because that's all I have in Arena, which is really dumb. But then I keep getting those silly pop-up challenges that say, play 20 red cards. And okay, I'll keep that. I swear, everybody just keeps playing red decks.
See, I'm stubborn. I play the pre-made decks whenever I get those.
Yeah.
So I play like the vampire. Whenever I get the black or the white one, I play that vampire tribal deck.
I kind of wish that they had a format somehow on Arena that was you can play a pre-made deck plus or minus 5 cards.
Yeah,
right?
that'd be interesting.
Instead of, hey, I just got this free pre-made deck.
Yeah.
And it's bad, and I got paired up against a built standard deck.
Yeah.
That's
it does feel good when you beat people with vampire tribal deck. When you're playing like a real deck and you're just
look,
like,
I'm at 40 life.
Yeah, swing with all these guys.
You can't kill me. that Balefire thing that you have for 8 doesn't end the game anymore.
There's kind of some fun decks that I kind of like to play. There's some really bad ones though too. There's like I got the red-green challenge one time. I played this red-green deck. I'm like, this deck is terrible. Like, why would anybody ever play these cards? I'm like reading the cards, and I spent like 8 mana to play like a 7/6 dinosaur that like makes it so every time a dinosaur comes into play, I can tap a dinosaur to like give 1 haste. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, what? This is terrible.
I got on there the other day and had a challenge to play blue cards, right?
Yeah.
Play 50 blue spells, whatever it was. So I built a cantrip, and then there's a blue enchantment that I have like 2 of. That whenever you play a blue spell, you mill 2.
Oh yeah, Psychic Corrosion.
So I tried to mill my opponents, which didn't work at all. I just dirtled and milled like 20 cards and then lost. Yeah, but I got the challenge. So
there's some games where I go into challenge mode where I just start making plays just so I can make sure my challenge is done, so I never have to play that deck again. Where I just like start making random chump blocks where it's just like, wait a minute, if I play 3 more white cards, I get done with the challenge. Like, if I block here and here, and if I draw a white card, okay, I'll get it. So my opponent's probably thinking like, what the heck is going on? But then I just don't want to ever play that deck again.
What about a format where they just give you a random deck? That's kind of how draft feels to me in some ways, because it's not really draft. But yeah, that'd be. I like the idea of some sort of a casual format, because playing the pre-made decks is kind of fun.
Yeah, I actually like it. I enjoy it.
And I think the green pre-made deck back when it was in beta, I don't think they do that one anymore. I went like 15-0 with it.
Yeah, no, yeah, the one with it has Llanowar elves
And
and
I
it
was
has
confused
like
because I was
Galta.
playing against other green pre-made decks, and somehow I just kept drawing hot.
I actually like the pre-made decks a lot because it like teaches kind of like combat interaction and stuff like that, and it's kind of like not a lost art to Magic, but I feel like it's one of those things where with damage in the stack being gone, the damage in the stack's been gone for like 9 years, but it's one of those things where it used to be like a really integral part of Magic, where that interaction, and like these decks kind of are so simple that you kind of have to like trick them that way and do tricks, send guys attacking when you don't have a combat trip, but your opponent not blocking because he's scared of one. Like I kind of miss that form of Magic, and that's why I like the pre-made decks. It's kind of like it's kind of an old, very kind of old, simple way. But I think it's good. I like that it did that. That was probably one of my favorite things, to be honest, is playing those goofy decks. So there's that blue-green Merfolk one.
Yeah, and there's something really frustrating about Arena, the idea that, hey, I spent all of my wild cards on this standard deck, and that's the one I'm going to play for a while.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did with Grixis Control. I was like, I'm going to build the Nicol Bolas Grixis Control, and then the next thing I read a standard article where it's like, decks that have no business being played by anyone in standard. And it's like Grixis Control. And I was like, I only spent 12 mythic wildcards for this deck. So
right. And that's why I'm going to keep playing it.
One of my favorite things they do in MTGO is when they did, and I just may be making this up, maybe this isn't true, maybe this is Hearthstone, where they did like old school Pro Tour decks where they fought against each other. Is that a thing? Jorgensen's that a thing?
It's the MTGO gauntlets, right?
That's cool. That's like a throw. It's like neat when you see like a Pro Tour deck that one certain Pro Tour fighting like another one.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I don't know. Did they do a cross gauntlet? They did like a cube once, but I don't know if they did a cross gauntlet like that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, but maybe it wouldn't be, because then you'd have someone playing Cobblade and then someone playing like with some Randy Bueller draw a goat bet deck from like 2002. Which ran like Icy Manipulator and like 4 counter spells. And it's like, oh, I can't beat a Squadron Hawk.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there's been different types of gauntlets. Cool.
They have the Modern Cube right now, which is pretty fun. My solution to the Legacy Cube was playing Chandra. If you got Chandra, you would just splash for Chandra, and it was super good. It's like funny how this cube thing works out, because the first one you always do, you like a Legacy Cube, you have this like Legacy mindset where you're like, Level's a good card, this is a good card, I'm gonna build this fair mid-range deck, and then you get stomped by someone who's like kills you with like some big weird green Apalapadocos guy from Theros, and you're like, what just happened? And then you're like, okay, what's really good? And you start just building Planeswalker deck, green ramp Planeswalker decks. Yeah, they can do some neat stuff with Arena though, and they already have. They've had those different like little things where they had that one where you would do a Dominaria draft, but you got double the mana and you drew to 9 cards. Yeah, like that stuff can be kind of fun.
It's interesting. It's more interesting with a draft where you have to draft kind of blind and not knowing what the format's actually going to be like. And so that very first time when it first launches and everybody's blind, that's fascinating.
I'm curious to see how it. I mean, I think it's doing really well. I don't know. I'm not a. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the last Pro Tour was like the highest streamed Pro Tour ever for Standard, and I think it's because Arena. And then you have a lot of these Magic professionals coming out and saying, I ended up doing a lot of my testing through Magic Arena because it's so quick, and I'm curious to see how it really kind of affects Magic as a whole. I think the goal is to affect paper Magic where it gets more people to play paper. I don't think you're going to see it going away where we're going to eliminate paper to play Magic Arena, but I think it's certainly doing its job. So
yeah, it's more successful than like some of the previous iterations of.
You get those weird ones where like the Xbox ones, or it's like the Duel of the Planeswalker ones and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of people who play those, but I'm as someone who doesn't play Standard, I mean I really enjoy this. Like I go home and I boot it up and I pull out my treasure map to fairy deck and I cast some standard.
And if you have like 10 minutes, you can just jam a game real quick.
That's
and
the cool part about it is you can and the challenge. I mean the challenges or the little challenges you get aren't that hard. You just play one of the pre-made decks. That's it.
Yes, I think they're already in talks of having some sort of an Arena connection too. All right, it looks like we have players sitting down, but I don't know who they are. We got Remy.
There's Remy. Yeah,
I recognize the playmat.
You can't ever not.
Remy has been on some sort of Antiquities War deck. That's what I've been calling it.
Yeah, I would call it. I think the deck online is being called Blue Black Artifacts, which isn't as cool as Antiqua War.
Antiqua War, right?
Sure.
And I've gotten chaliced many times by him.
Oh sure,
to end the game.
I'm sure. I think I have like my stream record against Remy is 0-4 on stream. I have never beaten Remy, and it's funny because it's the only games I kind of remember. But it's I'll go watch me just watching Remy play, and I'll have like 7 cards in my hand, and I'll just like flop my hand, and it'll be like 3 Ponders, 2 Brainstorms, a Delver, and like a Lightning Bolt, and there's like a Chalice on one.
And Zach is sitting next to him. Do you know what Zach's playing?
Zach's.
Is he on his Dark Thresh deck again?
Maybe, or let's say Dark Thresh. He got his nobles back from the artist.
Ooh.
And he asked me for a 4-color Delver list. And I told him that I cut the 4th color for just to go rug. So I'm hoping he's playing something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's on Dark Thresh.
All right, so here you guys are sitting down, just getting started. And our other match, I have to guess who we have there as well. This looks like Stockton on Dredge, right?
No, Stockton is on Grix. Oh, he's on Grixis Delver. He's on my Grixis Delver. Okay. I always get super excited when we watch my Grixis Delver deck playing because it's like I feel like it's like watching a child kind of. I have a child, so I guess I know how that feels, and it's not accurate at all. 100% not accurate at all. But I just get excited seeing my Delvers and my Bitter Blossoms. I don't know. It's weird.
I think this is Christian, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
So
I'll jump over here to this first match.
Which one do you want
they're
to watch
actually
first?
starting. I'm more interested in watching this.
I am too. I
but
also want to see what Zach's playing.
We'll jump here first because they're actually starting playing Magic while these other guys get set up, and then we'll jump over to their match once they get going. They're gonna take a mulligan and shuffle and.
Yeah, Dark Thresh. If you're not familiar with Dark Thresh, it's basically Bug Color's version of Canadian Thresh. It runs Stifle, runs a few Thoughtseize. It basically runs Gurmag, Delver, Termagoyf, and 1 true name. I think usually it's 0 to 1 true names. So the deck just plays like Canadian Threshold, but it's different colors.
It has black.
Yeah,
so
and
dark.
also it rejects Nimble Mongoose, and because nobody thinks Nimble Mongoose is good anymore. It's kind of sad, but I think everyone's pretty much letting go.
There'll be a reason why it'll come back.
Maybe
one day.
I don't know.
Somebody will win something with it once.
I think. Don't tell H.C. Fox I said this, but I think Nimble Mongoose is hanging out with Phyrexian Dreadnought, Trigon Predator, and Werebear in a bar somewhere. You know,
with H.C. Fox.
Yeah, in Idaho, and they're all studying for the medical exam. So
all right. We're just gonna show you these guys instead, since my idea of showing you some magic.
Yeah. So the concept of the deck, once upon a time, and I'll try to hit this quickly as the match starts, was the deck ran cards like Werebear, Nimble Mongoose, which all required Threshold. I believe there was another one too, so they called the deck Thresh because all your creatures were dependent on Threshold. And the way you got Thresh was because you played Fetch Lands, Brainstorms, Wastelands, and cards like Lightning Bolt. Just you can fill your graveyard quickly with cheap spells. The modern deck is Delver. Delver has kind of replaced the Thresh name because Delver didn't exist back then.
And this looks like a pretty good hand from Zach.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Rug Delver, yeah. So Rug Delver is Canadian Threshold. I'm not sure if you know that, but the deck is Canadian Threshold. We just made it Rug Delver, and now we call it Teamer Delver.
Ugh. Bad. Don't do that.
No, I don't know that. Threshold's not in modern. Yeah, Threshold's we've never seen Threshold come back. No, Delirium is kind of like Threshold.
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah. It's a cousin.
Yeah.
It's a cousin.
Hey, look, we're mulliganing. Gives me time to put up the time.
This is reminiscent of there was a Pro Tour Finals once where they both mulliganed to 0.
Oh no.
Yeah. It was staged. They were basically protesting that the format was stale. It was Kai versus somebody, and they both agreed because they'd already prize split to mulligan and 0 in camera. So you have this very old, like 2001 coverage of a Magic Pro Tour, and they mull it to 0. So you've got like 30-minute span of the commentator just kind of sitting there like watching the mulligan.
Wow,
so,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I know it was Kai versus somebody. I'm sure one of these guys, Jorgensen probably knows, but it was Kai versus someone. Maybe it was the World Championship, not a Pro Tour, but it was kind of a funny incident.
I've been playing. I haven't been playing in a while, but I've been playing a modern Colorless Eldrazi
Okay.
And there's some other people playing it. And it plays Serum Powder, so you just mulligan a lot, right? But it's actually enjoyable to mulligan.
Yeah,
It's like the only deck that you really have fun mulliganing.
Yeah, because you get
sometimes you go up to 8 cards if you do it right, and you get lucky. Most of the time, mulliganing doesn't feel good.
Yeah, especially when your opponent plays Him to Torok. This makes you want to jump off a bridge.
Oh yeah, I'll go to 6. Oh, you got Thoughtseize into him? Great.
Okay, so Zach is on Dark Thresh. I see the 2 Goyfs and the Gurmag and the Day Stifle package. Stifle's not very good against Remy.
And he's actually playing around a Daze right here, whether he knows it or not.
I think he does. Well, he can't pay 3 mana for Walking Blow. So. I'm kind of curious what's the thought process here. Oh, Remy's thinking. Okay, so the priority's on Remy. Engineer on 0. On 1. That's kind of interesting.
If you see Underground Sea or Polluted Delta, maybe you're thinking Delver.
Yeah, but then what if it's Grixis control? Well, he knows Zach. I guess I'm blowing smoke a little bit, but at the same time, he should know the only 1-drop that Zach has is Delver. Now it's a very potent threat, but yeah, I don't know. I think Remy could have held that back a little bit.
It's also it turns his Mox online, right?
Okay, very true. That probably is what he wants a lot more than my line of killing 1-drops. But you're right, the Mox opal's huge. Mox salvage. I'm kind of mad at Jorgensen. He made fun of my cradle. I was so happy to get my cradle. He reminds me about the ding.
Like a jerk. You should have just framed the picture so that you couldn't see the very top of the card.
I could have. I was so excited too. I bought it over Thanksgiving, came home, and it was in the mail. It was like a non-blue card too, so I feel like people would be like proud of me for buying Gaia's cradles.
I like how you're all sad.
Yeah,
I went through this withdrawal process after Jorgensen ripped into my beautiful cradle. I ordered a card using the eBay coupon. It still hasn't come.
Yeah, so I'm
annoyed.
This is the best guy I've ever had. He like mailed it the same day.
Yeah, and
sent me a message thanking me.
Thanks for buying my dinged cradle.
Nobody's
wanted it.
Yeah. I'm building. I play Maverick a lot online, Jorgensen, so I'm gonna build it in paper. I figure you guys can watch me play Maverick when I do play paper, and that way I'll be a good guy.
All right, here's an Antiquities War.
That
I think last week when we watched Remy, he didn't ever see one. So this is a card that's worth force.
I think you have to. And at the point where Daze is kind of useless, I think I'm bind pitching Daze. There gets to points with Delver decks where you're looking at your Daze and you're like, please draw 4 so I can get rid of this Daze, or Brainstorm to get rid of it. So even though it's a 2-for-1, the name of the game's tempo, and this is a great tempo play with Zach, being able to just stop an Antiquities War. Remy takes 2. You've got a big, Donkey Goyf that's going to get bigger because enchantment. He's in a good spot. The Stifle is a little awkward, but it could see play.
It might be relevant.
Yeah. The one thing he can do is he can play a Delver. I don't think Remy will shoot it, but if he does try to shoot it, he can Stifle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that would happen. I think Remy would wait to pay for to keep his Walking Bliss alive.
So the Antiquities War is a card, right? If you guys haven't seen that thing, I can pull it up if you'd like. But it draws cards for this deck, and it's a win condition for the deck, and it's really pretty strong. It's a little slow, but usually this deck is successfully Baleful Strixed, stonewalling that way, or it's chalicing, preventing things that way, or several other options that makes it pretty hard to deal with it once it's online.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this deck is just a really good Chalice Baleful Strix deck. Which, I mean, if you can do that against a lot of decks, you can almost win any way you want to. You can cast, Chandra Blaze, not Chandra Blaze. You can cast Chandra Torch of Defiance. You can cast Tezzeret. You can cast Antiquities War. So I think it's a good point about Chalice and kind of Baleful Strixes. So when you stifle the Antiquities War, I know we had the Rift Bolt conversation where we learned that because Stifle can stop Rift Bolt. Most people don't know that. They think it keeps happening, but it doesn't. So with Antiquities War, you can actually stifle the ultimate on it.
Right.
Okay. So that's actually good.
And you could choose, you could stifle one of the earlier ones, I believe.
Do they still get the counter? I'm assuming so because you're stifling the ability.
So you would stop the counter being added, right?
I don't. Or would you stifle the? I think it's a cost.
This is a good question.
I think they get the count. I don't know. Why do we have to ask this? Removing the counter as part of the interaction. No, I get that for the whatever suspend, but how does adding the counter? Okay, that makes sense. The Saga cards have a weird thing where they kind of like it's not part of the stack. It's like a weird Saga.
Yeah. After you draw.
Yeah.
It's a weird timing.
That makes sense. So you can counter the ability.
Yeah. So you'd counter either the 2/2 being made by the white one, or you'd counter the ultimate.
Yeah, it feels really good to stifle an Ancestral Vision that gets the glass counter removed on it. That's the only reason why I knew you could do that, because of the Shardless deck. That was a way you could just go turn 1 Ancestral Vision.
This Master of Ethereum's pretty big. It's a thing that has to be dealt with.
Yeah, that's something that Remy's kind of added more recently. He's gone away from more of the ensnaring bridge tactic to this Master of Ethereum. I'm going to kill you this way.
And we had a Ballista that was a 1/1 with no counters on it. That's cute. Oh, is this in response to the counter being put on? Is that how that works?
I think so.
So the Ballista's going to die as well?
Yeah, there's no way Remy can interact with this. Doesn't have another mana. Yeah, that's good 2 for 1.
And Goyf gets bigger. It's
Yeah.
a nice 6/7.
6/7.
Just a little. I mean,
and we're at this point where, yeah, I don't. EE for 2 would be nice.
Mm-hmm. There's never a way to do that though.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah, no Mox Opal.
But it didn't.
He's
turn
got to do.
online
Yeah, he's got to do
until-
some weird stuff. Yeah, that's the thing with. I think this is just straight. He's missing color sources.
Yeah. Which is a way that Antiquities work and lose, right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of colored sources.
This
in the
Ancient
deck,
Tomb's about to turn off too. Yeah, Remy's not in a great spot. The Snaring Bridge is the only thing I can think of, but I don't think he's maining it because he has a Master of Ethereum.
He might still have one main because he's got so many different ways to search for stuff.
Yeah, but he can cast Baleful Strix because he's got black mana. Zach looks like he's got Stifle and more creatures.
Sometimes no, I think Remy's deck actually has a pretty good game against a Goyf. Between Baleful Strix and Chalice of the Void and Ensnaring Bridge and all of the search effects for all those things and making 5/5s, I think he's pretty well.
Well, sometimes Goyf gets too big and sometimes you die.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, we'll take a peek at our other match while these guys.
Goyf is the guy
sideboard.
who's dangerously gotten close to entering that bar where all those guys are, but he somehow keeps avoiding it. He keeps driving past it. Right when they send him there.
Look, these guys are doing the same thing. They're sideboarding too. Neat. If you guys are at home and you want to participate, you can sideboard your deck.
You can sideboard
yeah. Take your deck out and sideboard it. And then de-sideboard it, I guess. It's a good time.
Yeah, you can pick it. You're either sideboarding against Dark Thresh or Antiquities, or you can be sideboarding against Grixis Delver Esper Blade. You pick. Play along at home.
It's like if you're playing baseball and you're in the up to bat and you're swinging before. What's happening?
Hey, that's that guy on Sick Deals. Those bolts are fake, Jorgensen. Those are fake bolts. Those aren't real. Yeah, they're not real though.
I've seen some people
They're
start
alters.
to alter cards.
I don't like it. I don't like it. He's selling those bolts. There's someone who's selling those bolts online right now on the website. And yeah, but like, what's the value on them? Like, how do you value something like that? Generally when it comes to alters, would you say most alters increase the value?
No.
Okay.
Like 95% don't.
Okay.
I'd say that most alters have kind of a set price.
Okay.
That people are willing to pay, and then there's a very select few people who do alters that
that
skyrocket the price,
yeah.
right? I have no idea what something like that.
I mean, those cards are already at premium as it is, right?
Yeah.
If someone told me I spent $400 on those lightning bolts for an English one, right, that's non-touched, I would say, okay, that's fair. And I hate to say that, but I don't know what you'd price that at. I just have no idea. I mean, it would be cool to have. Yeah. I don't,
But whoever commissioned him to do it it's weird that he got rid of him. Like Jorgensen's saying, you don't do that to a card.
Yeah.
Ever planning on getting rid of it.
I mean, there comes a time and a place. Sometimes the magic gods tell you it's time to hang it up.
It's a good way to
yeah,
repair
that's
damage
true.
cards.
One
Absolutely.
of my favorite things is the Black Lotus, where it was just a Black Lotus someone had found, and I forget. I think it was Klug. Was his name Klug? Klug. He redid it, and it just looks so neat. He did it as a masterpiece. Looks so neat. Yeah, that's my favorite thing is when people do that. So I like your Death Shadows. I like the whole noir style. Of
I've got some new stuff to show you guys if we have a break. It's been a little while since I've done something different.
I can't decide what I like more. Your Search for Azcanta or those Death Shadows. Your Search for Azcanta may just be the go-to.
You liked how that one worked out. Some of them are fun. All right. Zach and Remy are still sideboarding, so we're going to see Stockton here play some Grixis Delver.
That's an Italian Delver.
Whoa.
It's Italian.
He speaks a different language.
When I was in California, I got to tell a quick side story as we do this. So you know how I'm obnoxious and I play with my lance up front. So sometimes maybe people can't see my cards because of glare. So I go turn 1 Underground Sea Delver. And I announce, I go Underground Sea Delver.
Okay.
And the guy says, "You wish that was a Delver." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "That's not a Delver." And I show it to him. He's like, "Oh, it's in a different language." So
that's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Delver flipped and then it died. It's very sad. There's a reason why Italian Delvers get fatally pushed, right? I'm not sure what it is, but there's a reason.
That's a Spanish young pyromancer.
Ooh. He's of age though, because in Spain,
there's no
you can drink when you're younger, right?
Yeah, you're 12.
Yeah.
See if he gets a daze. Chris, okay. It's interesting with Stoneforge because I actually am more apt, and if my opponent goes Wasteland Volk, I actually would probably. I was about to I guess admonish him for not playing around days, but I probably would have just jammed the Stoneforge at this moment.
You kind of have to.
You see your opponent kind of struggling with his lands, going Wasteland Volk, and then at this point, if he dazes, he gets a token, but he's back on lands, and you get the 3 mana. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Well, we can stay here for a little while and see what these guys are doing. It's a little different matchup than what you're used to.
Yeah, so it's this is one of those things when you approach it Esper Blade versus Grixis Delver, you kind of at first be like, well, okay, this deck has Gurmags, Delvers. This other deck has Swords to Plowshare, Jaces, Supreme Verdicts, Fatal Pushes too. They've got a lot of removal they have access to, and the same blue suite where you can thin your draws out and things like that. So Stoneblade always kind of had a secretly decent matchup versus Delver, but this is Esper Blade and Grixis Delver. I probably played my most 2-play decks. The problem with Esper Blade is it gets a little clunky because you have the Stoneforge interactions, you have Thoughtseize interactions, and the thing with Grixis Delver is it does a really good job of punishing just not perfect plays.
Right.
If you stumble a little bit, Grixis Delver is going to punish you with Spell Pierce, with Dazes. He had the Fatal Push for the Delver, but now there's a young Pyromancer that's going to generate a significant amount of tokens. That being said, but here's a Stoneforge Mystic that can pretty much stonewall all these tokens he makes while bringing out a Batterskull. So at the end of the day, 2 really key cards are true name nemesis on both sides. Kind of seems silly to say that, but it's true.
It's kind of a weirdly timed swords. I think I would have, without having gone too deep into this, I would have done this last turn when Stockton didn't have Untap Red. But okay, he doesn't even respond. Maybe this was upkeep.
Maybe.
So he gains 2 life.
That's true. Stoneblade does kind of get a little, has problems with the Grixis control deck, but I think Stoneblade's the fairest blue deck of them all. I think it's kind of a weird statement to say, but I think it is because everything you're doing is just super fair and like.
Is that a mirror on the wall? That's great. The fairest deck of them all.
Because you never feel like you're doing broken things, but you're doing good things. Yeah. You're playing Jace. You're playing cards like Batterskull.
If you get to successfully like him to Torok, I don't know if he's.
No, I don't think it runs him to Torok.
I like the white black the dead guy because you get to do that, right?
Yeah.
You get to steal games through Thoughtseize.
It's basically kind of, I call it
Lily.
blackened taxes because it's very similar to.
Do we get a true name here? Might as well.
I thought the thing is, I'm not sure he's not wastelanding though.
Okay.
Oh, so he's kind of delaying the inevitable.
This doesn't feel good.
It doesn't, but it kind of is a time walk because Christian has to commit to keeping his Stoneforge available.
Mm-hmm.
So that play, sure, Stifle was a -1, but if you think about it, Christian didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Stockton spent time pondering and trying to set up a play, but one thing, Gurmag's going to stop, even the Batterskull. So now Christian plays a land, hard cast a Jitte, and he can't,
Ooh, okay, so this worked out.
Now he gets a little punished here
Yeah.
because he didn't use his Stoneforge Mystic. I'm not sure why he did that. I really don't know why. I don't know why. If we had, yeah.
You're still thinking about it, still trying to find a reason. Why? Wait, nope, still don't know. Still can't figure it out.
I think the reason why he did that play, Chief Fox, was I think that last ponder kind of changed his line a little bit. Now he's drawing Lightning Bolt. There's the true name, right? You brought that up earlier. Now the true name pretty much can stonewall the Batterskull forever. What did Kaz ask? He was just going question marks.
I don't.
Did he ask something?
Nope. We're just asking things.
Okay, he's just throwing questions.
No. Young Pyre was very dead.
Yeah.
It got Swords to Postures a little while ago.
Press this new messages.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I don't want to miss somebody. Someone may tell us that they're giving us a brand new Lamborghini. Yeah, I don't like the Jitte play either. I think Christian just was thinking this 1/2 blocks elementals forever. I know it's not a great line, but one thing that's kind of like a play pattern I've noticed with a lot of Magic players, you get kind of punched in the face a little bit when it comes to your mana bait. You wastelanding, you can't cast your spells. You get in a position where you're not doing what you want to be doing, and you kind of make a slight misplay, and something that you really are like, well, I'm still playing around days, and you forget about Spell Pierce. I think it was a mistake, but I can kind of understand why.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't run out Thoughtseize or True Name either. I think that was correct, but this worked out. I mean, he knew there was a Jitte, and it.
Yeah, I think it's just a small mistake. That's the one thing I like about these Tuesday and Friday night Legacy tournaments is this is your practice. This is where you get out and run out your stuff. And it's better to make a mistake here than buying a plane ticket and making a mistake in Richmond.
Right. Something being 0-3 and not looking forward to the rest of your Saturday.
Yeah. And someone needs to staple my deck to my hand before I play in a GP, because I always try to metagame the night before, and I come up with these these weird concoctions of decks that were dead 3 years ago. I was like, why isn't this good still?
Yeah, Stifle may have been stronger here. You're right, because if the Jitte had been out, oh well.
Yeah,
and he would have been able to respond to it. But
I get it. There's a little, obviously there's some plays here that are a little confusing, but. Yeah, I'll give these guys a lot of credit. Here's 2 modern players who have picked up Legacy and are committed to playing it, and they're learning. I'll be honest with you. There's been times where I haven't played around days when I was learning, and I tell people the story when I first started playing Legacy again. I played against Calvin. He beat me 7 times in a row with Grixis Delver versus USA Stoneblade, and then I turned it around and beat him 7 times in a row because it clicked. Yeah. So these guys are learning. I mean, they're getting to learn the format. It's a tough format. I mean, these plays really speak to that. Can anyone tell me what Legacy is? I don't know.
I don't think he has the Stifle anymore, does he, Fox?
No, he doesn't.
So OG Geek V. I'm used to calling you Crimson Viper. You need to tell us. Tell us what Legacy is. We need it loud. So I made this mistake. I don't know if I've told you the story. I've told everybody in chat. Over a year ago, back before we had cameras anywhere, I feel like we were just in this back room when we first started out, and Crimson Viper gets in our chat and says, "What is Legacy?" And I go on I felt like a 10-minute rant about, well, okay, Legacy is this format in Magic where you get to you have these cards and you don't get these cards, and it's different than Modern this way, and he comes back and says, "Wrong. It's the greatest format." Oh, that's what it was.
What a clever guy.
Yeah. So he checks in once every 3 months. and asks again.
I would just tell him you can brainstorm and you can fetch away 2 bad cards and feel real good about it. And that's what Legacy is to me.
Bathicky! Thanks for the follow.
Is it Bathicky or is it Bat-Hickey?
It's a... Ooh, this is a good question.
Can we get confirmation on that? Because I'm going with Bat-Hickey until I'm told otherwise.
Anybody else who's in chat, if you guys want to give us a follow, and you can see when we go live on Tuesdays and Fridays, and this Saturday.
Modern's fun.
Modern is pretty good compared to...
Standard.
When?
No, I like Stag. It is Bat-Hickey.
Oh, okay.
You know what Modern is to me? It's when... Okay. I love my favorite sport, and we'll this is a 20-second rant, so someone time me. My favorite sport's soccer. I love soccer. European football's my favorite sports to watch. Basically, Modern is basically like it's like when you're practicing and you decide to like, you know, do crazy stuff and like take down the goals and replace them with other things, or, you know, just do weird things. Like, it's fun, but like at the end of the day, we're here to do a real format, and that's Legacy. But I like it. It's intriguing how different Modern is to Legacy. Liverpool. I love Liverpool. Good year so far. Need to do better in Champions League. Mo Salah basically is a true name nemesis of the Premier League.
You get into trouble when you start connecting sports with magic. I think you lose half the audience.
So do you know who Rich Shea is? So he's a very good vintage player.
Yeah.
I told Rich Shea he was the Kobe Bryant of vintage, and he looked at me and he's like, I don't know who that is.
Exactly. That's so great.
He asked me if he was a good person. And I said, really
depends on which jersey number he's wearing.
Yeah, but I thought that was pretty funny.
All right, so Stockton's in trouble here. I think I'm not sure. I think with the cards he had early on, it felt like he was in control.
It did, but it didn't.
And it kind of turned around.
Where I thought the difference was where Stockton was having to use resources. It didn't have a great pressure, and Christian kind of had the inevitability of that batter skull, and then kind of just outvalued him with the Snapcaster 2, losing 3 of your threats, and then not being able to deal with Christian's threats. The thing is, the only way he can deal with batter skull is True Name holding back or Gurmag holding back, and it becomes kind of awkward, and it gets to the point where you're going to get into a stalemate. Eventually somebody's got to flinch, and Christian's in a better spot because he can eventually jace or have a breaker like that. One thing to say though is Stockton does have access to Bitter Blossoms and more True Name Nemesis. Bitter Blossom is really good right here just because it would kind of unclog the field, but True Name's tack this turn, so we're gonna see Batterskull at least get in. So sort of Feast and Famine.
It probably would have been correct for that True Name to sit back. Yeah, that's what you're saying. It's a negative loss, or it's a net negative life by him gaining 4, right?
Sword and Feast and Famine. I really like Sword and Feast and Famine. Really good against Grixis control, which is interesting, but something to say. I don't want to dwell on these plays, but not using the Stoneforge with the Jitte. I mean, at the point where you have Jitte and Batterskull, you're just killing the young Pyromancer stuff. I mean, at this point, I think Christian, if we had that little cheesy advantage bar, I would throw it a lot on Christian's side. But I do respect the fact that, Stockton has outs. Yeah. But with the Jitte on the board, I don't think there's any way Stockton would be able to come back.
Is Stockton playing K-Command?
No.
Okay. That would change this game, right?
It would.
Lillian says, how did you do in Vegas?
I did not play in Vegas, actually. I went to California and did stuff. Played Legacy in California, which was fun.
Okay. It's a very glare card. I can't even tell what it is.
Which one is it? What did he tap for? A white and a black. I'm guessing it's Stoneforge. You got a guess?
That makes sense. Yeah. So we fixed most of the glare. We have just a little bit right on the edge of both of our tables. And it's the best we can do at the moment.
Hey, I can tell you what the cards are. Yeah. Just close your eyes. I'll tell you what's going on.
It makes watching more fun because there's this mystery added in.
It could be anything.
What is this blank white card?
I feel like Stockton needs the mystery card more so. Than Christian.
The player with Batter Skull and a equipped sword on a creature. Yeah, he's the guy who gets the mystery card.
This is kind of sad for me because this is another 20-second weirdo Terry rant. But Stockton's playing my Grixis Delver deck, and like I helped him with his Death Shadow deck and getting a legacy. And Christian kind of the same way. He and I are kind of working on getting him building Esper Blade. And like when I showed him the Esper Blade list, I showed him one of my Magic Online lists. And like, so this is like my two apprentices fighting each other. And I don't know who I want to.
You want them to go to a draw?
I want him to go to a draw, but I kind of secretly want Stockton to win because he's playing my deck. Because he's like, I feel like he's playing with my like clothes on.
Right.
Yeah.
With your clothes on.
Like go shirt.
Okay.
That's an Italian true name. You can't hold him back though.
There's a braid.
Yeah, that's a braid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets forced.
Yeah, actually, you should appreciate that, H.E. Fox. I'm actually playing Grixis Delver with 4 Stifles. That's kind of an interesting thing. That's something that I've always kind of been partial to. Even I think when we played the infamous Grixis Delver Mirror, I remember I played Stifles against you. And I don't know. Stifle's always been a card, and H.C. Fox and I probably both agree where we probably value it a lot higher than other people. But then you have people like LSV who just think the card's terrible. Mm-hmm. So
it's one of those where if the metagame, if the tournament isn't expecting it, it can be pretty strong.
Yeah. And
if everybody's been playing it for a while and everybody's been playing around it, then it feels like a dead card to people compared to the decks.
Because you can't play around it, especially, yeah. I remember flashbacks of playing against like Josh and Corey. Every time they would fetch, I would tell them to wait. And they'd be like, you don't have any Stifles in your deck. And I was like, yeah, I do. Like, are you going to stifle it? And I was like, I'm thinking.
Next level, those Tuesday night games. I'm going to get you. And don't you just... I guess
yeah, I think so. So Stoneforge will probably brick. Why doesn't he... Yeah, Stockton... I think I take the Feast and Famine one just because I don't want to... I don't want to lose more resources.
Right? Oh, no, it doesn't kill it.
He could double block, though, right?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on double blocking with the true name of the... I mean, sure, if he swords the Pyromancer, but... Right? Yeah. I like the idea of maybe double... It doesn't seem great, but it gets a body off the field.
And then as long as Christian doesn't put out another creature, you're
well,
in
he's got the mystery
spot.
card. Don't forget the Glare mystery card.
Oh, that's right.
That's a 1/2. It's a 1/2 Squire. Yeah, I think it's tough to bust the Pyromancer just because maybe Stockton's thinking I can cantrip into cantrip into cantrip and somehow to build a defensive wall.
It might be his only path to winning.
I still think his best path to winning is resolving another true name and then a Bitter Blossom
or a Delver, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Here you go. Step 1.
Step 1. Nothing.
Pass.
Okay.
You know what there's only so much you can bluff because the Sword of Feast and Famine coming down, it makes you think it's got to be a Force of Will, maybe. Let me do my prediction. I'm going to do a Force of Will or a castable spell.
Okay.
Oh. Why didn't he... Oh, he should have cast on his turn.
This is okay.
Yeah.
Then he can jump block the...
I like the idea of trying to brainstorm into a threat, though. Like brainstorming into a Gurmag or brainstorming into a tree, or that Bitter Blossom.
Yeah.
I wish we could see what he's drawing here. It's interesting because... It's funny because like I have a lot of brainstorm isms where I say like don't brainstorm here and stuff like this, and people will run with it, and then I'll brainstorm end of turn after, and then they'll ridicule for me for it. And I was like, it's not doctrine that where you play brainstorm. And I think one thing people get stuck on brainstorm a lot is they have to use it as their instant speed. Like they just feel like I'm not using this card properly if I'm not using it in an instant window. There's a lot of times where you just cast it as a sorcery just to smooth out your draws or present a better threat. And I think that's kind of something right here where Stockton kind of felt like I wanted to bluff something or keep it as an instant. But I think it's just better if he just, brainstorms his cards. If he finds a card he wants to play and he can't play because he brainstormed, put it on top, discard a bad card, and you go from there.
So, HC, you like him killing the Stoneforge here instead of the Germ token?
Yeah, I do too. Because... the Batter Skull is repeatable, right? It's going to return,
Yeah.
you know, but the Stoneforge won't. So he needs to make up proxy value.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it doesn't feel well, but I mean, HC Fox is right. He's absolutely right. There's just none to it because with the Glare Stoneforge, it's the Glare Stoneforge brings in your yeah. This is a tough spot though. Like this is really tough to navigate out of.
Lillian, I'll take a look at your deck a little bit better here in between rounds.
Yeah, when we're done with the round, we'll take a look at it. Would it be better to run a straight mountains? Nobody's. Let's guess what deck he's playing. I'm thinking Grixis Control. Oh. Yeah, I mean, even if he's got a braid, it's too late. He's got to get. Yeah, HC Fox is right because in the Grixis Delver, your bolts are your only premium removal. You have a braids too, so a lot of times you're finding ways to kill Gurmags with bolts and stuff like that. So,
it didn't really even do anything.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and Lillian chat may be able to answer your question better anyway.
Isn't Jorgensen's like a burn master?
Wow, masters like a that's a pretty good title. I don't know.
That's the 21st century. Everyone's like a master now. Everyone's
Okay.
a black belt.
Okay.
Everyone's a
Everyone's special, so no one is.
Even like my title at work is the most egregious thing possible. It's like I'm I'm basically the associate regional vice president. I'm like, it makes it sound like that. Like I get dinner with like the president and the vice president of the country.
I'm sure you do.
When in actuality, it's just like a fancy title because I, hit a few goals and got a trophy.
Your region is like a square block.
Oh, it's not that big. It's like part of Salt Lake City. It's not all of Salt Lake City, but when I tell people on the airplane my title, it's more impressive. They're like, where are you from? Oh, like Utah. That's my region. And tell them it's like 30 square miles.
Yeah, this feels like maybe mistakes were made. Another true name helps him out.
Yeah, that's about it.
If Christian doesn't have any sort of counter magic.
This is the punishing side of Legacy. Such a complex format that a lot of these plays, especially in Delver decks, where your general conception of just trying to find value or you making a good trade isn't really evident. Making a double block where you lose a Pyromancer and you lose a Stoneforge doesn't seem good at all, but in actuality, it's very good.
Our other match isn't over. We could jump over to it.
Let's switch.
Okay, now
they're picking them up.
I wanted to see if Stockton was going to get something going there, because it wasn't as over somewhere.
Well, talking about the barbarians at the gate, right now, Termagoyf, Gurmag, and Delver are looking at Rome and licking their chops, and the only thing that's going to stop them is this Baleful Strix.
So this is quite possibly game 3, right? Which means Remy won game 2.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And he's got an Antiquities War that's about to go off.
Karn, okay. Makes a big guy. That big guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. Does he count itself?
Yeah.
5. So he's a 5/5.
Yep.
So he can look at Gurmag. Gurmag's got to respect him. Also, Baleful Strix is going to demand respect too. And we've got the Antiquities War swing back too.
Mm-hmm. So that's potentially lethal next turn.
It all depends. So Zach's got a Brainstorm and a Daze. Daze. I don't think it's Daze because he would have dazed the.
Here you see the power of Antiquities War, right? Not only did it draw Remy 2 cards, 2 artifacts that he got to choose out of top 10 cards, but it has potentially lethal here.
So Zach's looking at 2 lands, one of them being a fetch, a Daze, and a Wasteland. Wasteland's going to be really good because it's going to kill a land that's a 5/5, right? It's a Golgari Grave Charm. Kills enchantments.
So that's going to work.
It's good, but I don't think Remy's necessarily out of it yet.
Yeah. It doesn't change the. Karn is pretty good advantage.
Zach kind of has to make a trade here, right? Because if he wants to kill Karn, he's got to attack with everyone, and Baleful Strix in the construct will kill 2 things.
What's Goyf at now? It's a 2/3.
I think that's a. So we got looking at the graveyards. They look pretty barren, actually. Zach only has a wasteland, so I think artifact and
artifact land and then enchantment instant. So that's it'd be 4/5 Goyf after he plays the charm. I mean, he's already got brainstorm for instant.
So Zach will wasteland first to shrink down the construct, to make the construct a 4/4, and then he'll swing so that way the construct no longer can offer good trades.
This is definitely more interesting Magic at the moment than our previous match.
So basically, the puzzle is wastelanding, alpha striking, Golgari grave charming.
I think so. And then using the charm to boost your Goyf to potentially kill Karn, right? You're swinging all at Karn.
Yeah, I think that just closes the game out because you're going to be left with basically 2 threats. Because Baleful Strix is going to kill somebody, but the construct can't kill anybody.
Yeah, and that's definitely an interesting idea. Do you let all of it go through, or do you use your Strix to kill something?
Well, I think you have to. I think you're on the 8 ball. You're also, I mean, there may be a line here where maybe Zach just attacks Remy. I probably wouldn't do it. I'd probably take it safe and attack Karn, but
yeah, attacking Remy's smart too. This is a challenge.
Either way, I think Zach can't go wrong attacking with everybody.
Yeah,
but he's got a wasteland before he attacks. That's the only part where it gets a little tricky.
And so he's looking at these cards. There's Daze and a land. Those don't do anything, so it's pretty easy which 2 you keep.
Well,
right?
one of them is a fetch. So he's a fetch, and it's a fetch. Well, so he's getting rid of the charm.
Maybe he doesn't see the strength of the wasteland. Shrinking the
my math down. Could be off too, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So no, it's a 6/6. No, my math. No, it's a 6/6. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So my math is off because you would kill. Okay, so it'd be a 5/5. So it would trade with at least. Okay, it would now trade with Gurmag.
Yeah. Which it no longer can do. So he chose to keep the fetch land and the charm, of course.
He's still a pretty decent.
Did I forget an N? I knew I did something.
Okay, so let's talk about this play. If he goes... Okay, here's a play. If he goes Golgari Grave Charm, is it all creatures or your opponents? It's opponents, right? No, it's all creatures. The reason why is if he goes Charm and attack Zach directly, does Zach just die? Or no, attack Remy directly, does Remy just die?
All creatures.
Okay, so that's not a line. If that was Marsh Casualties... He could have just marched the Baleful Strix, attack Remy, and kill him. Right? Because Goyf's a 5/6, 5/5, and 3.
Yeah, and you're killing the war here.
Yeah.
You're swinging all at Remy, I think, and then you're okay. He sees it differently. All right, so he just swung with Delver, and blocked. It gets bigger.
I just don't like the idea of these constructs getting big.
I don't think regenning works. I think you have to destroy this Antiquities War. You have to, otherwise you just lose. He's got 2 artifact lands, the Mox, the engineered explosives that would all be 5/5s next turn.
No, because then he can block. You can hold him back.
Wasteland kills 1.
Well, he's got fetch land. Zach, the fetch land makes me really intrigued. That makes me think that Zach wants to shuffle the top cards of his deck, right? That's the only reason he is keeping Wasteland. Yeah, okay. Let's see how this goes. The one thing I know about Zach is he's very meticulous about his plays and he maps them out. Mm-hmm. So he's got a plan here. He took a different route than us. But you know what? He's sure reading his Golgari Grave Charm a lot.
Right? He's battling back and forth whether he wants to regen or destroy this war, right? Because if Remy swings all out, then maybe he just wins. But then why attack with the...
But this construct can't attack.
Right.
So there's one guy holding the ship down.
Yeah.
This island. And
enchantment's in the graveyard, so this Goyf is decent size now.
It was a difficult turn. I can appreciate that.
Artifact, land, creature, enchantment, instant.
I can tell you this: out of this turn, we're going to probably find out who's going to win. So I can respect the fact that they took their time. So he's going to regenerate, yeah. Okay.
So he's taking 15 here off of the artifact, lands, and the opals, and this just lasts until end of turn. They just turned into boring old artifacts afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. So he went for the regenerate play, correct?
Yep. And if he draws an abrupt decay, he wins.
Yeah. Abrupt decay wins. He's going to fetch, right? So he's going to get it because he's got Wasteland and Daze, so he's going to shuffle those away. Abrupt decay wins. Assassin's Trophy wins. I don't think he plays Assassin's Trophy, so I don't know why I'm saying that. You know, drawing a Telver is not the worst thing in the world. Drawing another threat's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, he's not in a bad spot. I think we were trying to win with the cards we had. Well, Zach's map is basically, I'm going to give myself 2 new draws, and we're going to see if we can win that way. I don't mind it. I think this is still good. He's at 2. Remy's only got 1 threat or 2 threats. You know, we have no idea.
Yep, no idea what's in.
We're just going to assume it's Terastodon.
He flips it over. Can this card win me the game? We can hear Remy go, ooh, as he gets to see more
it's
cards.
Abrupt Decay. That's it.
There's an Abrupt Decay off the Brainstorm. He Abrupt Decays the token for the win.
Yeah.
We see cards. So it worked.
Yeah, it did. He that's the move he made.
Rolled the dice. I like it. That was fun. And maybe our line of charming the Antiquities War meant that Remy would eventually win.
Maybe.
Versus Zach having an
We
actual
had the
win
all-in
next
attack the Karn, though. Remember that, too. Because
Yeah.
we charmed the Antiquities War, and so we had a different line. Our game kind of dragged the game out a little bit more, but left us with the threat. Well, Zach's line kind of went all in to try to win now. Which, when if Remy rips another Antiquities War or another Karn, that's certainly bad news for us. So,
all right. So I'm pretty sure that's a 2-1.
Yeah.
We didn't see game 2 at all. And our other match is
done.
Finished up. That was fun. So Dark Thresh would be 2-0 probably at this point.
So Dark Thresh and then Esper Blade, both 2-0.
Yeah.
So
of course, just what you would expect.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 most popular played decks in Legacy.
Yep.
By far.
Like 30% and 20%. Let's take a look. So we want to take a look at that deck he sent us?
Oh yes. Okay. So here's a burn deck.
It's missing Eidolon.
The question was, are these fetch lands good or should they just be mountains?
But it's missing Eidolon.
Yeah.
Where's your Eidolon?
I think it's missing Eidolon.
It's missing Eidolon. I like what HC Fox or Jorgensen told you about Searing Blaze, but I like the fetch lands. I mean,
because why?
You thin the deck out.
Is it in your deck? Is that good?
It's math. There's like percentage points. I mean, it's accurate. The statement's accurate. Is it going to help? No, but I feel good sometimes when I do it. I don't know. Fetch. I just know Eidolon needs to be in the deck. He's got Searing Blazes in the sideboard, so you need to run fetch lands. Yeah. That is accurate.
Yeah.
All right, we did it.
Yeah,
okay,
that makes sense.
Run Eidolon and keep the mana base the same.
And the Eidolons are there for
where
Flame Rifts or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't need Volcanic Fallout's interesting. Why do we need Volcanic Fallout?
Because it can't be countered, of course.
Oh, you get Exquisite Firecraft.
Yeah, we've actually seen Exquisite Firecraft do some interesting things. People don't expect it.
Yeah.
That's a card I would think of sneaking in at least a copy somewhere. All right, I'll show you guys some altars as we are sitting here with at least a minute left.
Hey, where did he go? We told him we'd look at his deck, and he wasn't here. We even found something that we need to tell him. Someone's got to tell him he's got to play Eidolons. Jorgensen, when that guy comes back, you got to tell him. You got to play Eidolon. I'm not even a burn player, and I know that.
So here we go. What's this look like? Looks like this. Here's a Facebook page I do where I do a bunch of altars, and I try to focus on doing legacy altars, things that usually are tournament playable. These most recent ones probably would not be, but
What
This
okay.
is something different.
I thought you were saying Death Shadow wasn't playable.
No. The
I was
actual
like, there's a
altar
whole
itself.
deck that's
Yeah,
built off of it.
right.
Yeah.
So it's just something fun and different. All of these came from the reference that I drew these from is from the same artist. But what I often do is I just scan the internet for cool looking art that somehow resonates with something for me. And I saw these guys and I went, hey, that maybe, yeah, put that on a Death Shadow. So this is quite a bit different than other stuff I've done. Normally the stuff you've seen a lot of from me, let's see if I click back here, and if we just scroll down, is more like this type of stuff where I've used thin line work, but you get to still see the original art, which allows it to be tournament playable usually. And they were popular, but it's fun to branch out and do different things instead of keep doing the exact same things over and over again. So my next one is combining the two, doing something that looks like that Death Shadow with some sort of a portrait that is some sort of emotion on their face.
I like these
along
ones.
with
I pull these guys up.
These lightning bolts.
I'm a fan of the whole math thing about it is really cool.
It's fun.
I hate math, but I think it's like a kind of a cool concept because it's got the whole science aspect of it. Neat. Oh, this is whiteboarded.
Yeah, there's a 4th edition. So I took the border and I like halved it.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I kind of like it because it kind of makes it pop just everything.
Yep, it's almost the same thinness of the bevel around the original art that is left remaining. It's kind of weird when you look at these lightning bolts and you get rid of the red.
Yeah.
How not red this text box is.
Sure, it looks orange.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
It's very pumpkin-y. These are pumpkin-y lightning bolts.
Yeah, it's unchanged from what a 4th edition bolt looks like.
For all you pumpkin latte fans out there, these lightning bolts are for you.
So anyway, it's something fun and different. You guys can jump on my page. It's just facebook.com/feltalters if you want.
It pops up there. The bot.
Yeah. And you can go back and see. I've done some stuff from way back. Recently, I did some Tron lands for somebody, and there's a bunch of different decks that I've done. You can almost see the deck.
Yeah, that's violent. Why, dude? God.
Somebody said, "Hey, I want a Survival of the Fittest."
It's bloody.
With your arcane circles on it with blood.
Ah.
And so.
Oh, you gotta show them this one. This one's your goat one. This is the goat of Bryce's altars. For all you guys that don't know what goat means, it's the greatest of all time.
Is this the greatest? I don't know.
This is the goat. Look how good this is.
This is one side. Here's the other side.
Good. I can't. It doesn't look. This is gonna sound weird. It doesn't look like an altar. It just looks like that's the card, and that's what makes it so good to me.
This one's in a metallic gold, so it kind of shimmers in your hand, which looks pretty fun. I try and do different things. I've messed around with doing foils. So like these guys are in foil, and so I've got like a matte black, and it makes the foil pop, which is cool, and should be tournament playable.
Iona's in that bar, by the way.
Oh yeah,
she's with Nimble Mongoose and all those guys.
And Dreadnought, I'm not sure. I
think she's in there.
Anyway,
that's gonna be my new favorite thing. I almost want to do like a mural, even though I'm not an artist. Just paint all these guys in like a bar, And you get those those president pictures where like people will paint like the presidents all hanging out together. I'm gonna have one with like Nimble Mongoose hanging out with like Werebear and Termagoyf, like walking out the door, looking back in. All right. Okay, so on the left we got Christian and we got Zach on the right. So 2 of our undefeateds are gonna meet here. Who's the
waiting to be seated? Iona is. That's great.
She's close.
The invention borders were kind of fun. A lot of other people have messed around with that now. Some doing it better, but I was able to do it fairly inexpensively and kind of do a lot, which was fun. I thought about actually bringing those back. That was one of those where I did a lot of them, and then it got kind of old. So I had people asking for inventions, and I didn't really want to do more.
I absolutely do. H.E. Fox hits that spot on. It's the if I ever get nominated to be a Supreme Court justice, one of the questions they're going to ask me is, "Hey, so we look back in your Magic playing days, and you used to make fun of blue players when you played before you quit the first time." And I'd be like, "I don't think that's true." And they'd be like, "Yeah, you played decks like Maverick, you played decks like the Rock and Evergreen and Goblin Charbelcher and Blue Black Reanimator," and I'll be like, "Yeah, Blue Black Reanimator is a blue deck." So there's a lot of Iona was in Blue Black Reanimator. I used to love Nimble Mongoose. Canadian Threshold used to be one of my favorite decks.
All right, what do you think about this matchup? aside from the players, we've got Zach who knows his deck really, really well, and Christian who's maybe new to his
Well, I
deck.
don't like forcing the Thoughtseize. So right off the bat, Thresh is going to try to get under. I like Esper Blade's matchup, though, because you can deal with all Zach's threats with swords, and you can Snapcaster him back, and then you have True Name. Zach doesn't have True Name in game 1, and Zach's removal kind of isn't as great against you because it's just, Fatal Pushing a Stoneforge or Germ Token's not the greatest. So, but Zach can get under him. He can Wasteland him. Christian's mana base, I feel like this is the theme for tonight, is Christian's mana base, but he's got a fragile mana base, and Zach can attack it really well with Stifles and Wastelands. So I would edge with Zach on this just because of experience and then that factor.
But the actual decks, you maybe like Esper Blade better.
I think I'm biased towards it because I like Esper Blade. I think if you said, Terry, you're going into a battle royale, you get to pick one of these decks, and the other guy's going to be playing the other one, I think I'd take Dark Thresh if I'm going first.
Okay.
Because I get Stifle and Wasteland.
Scrubland dies to Wasteland there, and then Christian runs out a fetch land. For some reason, we got a whole new thing of Glare right in the middle of the table. I don't know where that's coming from. It wasn't there a moment ago.
Yeah. It's a Marsh Flats. Oh, no, it's a Flood Strand. I'll do my best to kind of guide us on this Glare journey. So it's a fetch land, which there's another fetch land. There's 2 Flood Strands. So Christian's got 2 Flooded Strands. Zach's got a Stifle. He's got a Stifle and another Wasteland.
And he can run out a Gurmag Angler right here if he wants to.
I think we're going to see him wait a little bit.
Yeah. Because you want to save the Stifle, and then you don't have force backup to protect your Gurmag.
There's the swords, though. So Christian's found the swords. He just needs to be drawing a land. Him missing a land drop is huge here.
Which makes the Stifle even stronger. Stifle should be reprinted with Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it stops Storm, though.
Totally fair.
That'd be kind of weird.
We're going to stifle all these things and stop you from doing anything.
I guess that you go like, I'll crack my fetch. And you're like, I crack my fetch. And you're like, I'll crack my other fetch. No, I'll Stifle Storm you. 2 for 1.
Stifle Storm. Oh dear. All right, here's a threat. It's a Delver. And Zach is now very aware that Christian is mana light.
Now he's going to know.
Yeah. There is one with split second. It's not a 1 mana Stifle, though.
That's Trickbind. Trickbind doesn't have a... Yeah, the card he's talking about is Trickbind. It doesn't have so... I don't think it does, at least.
No, there's a Stifle with Trickbind, is what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
Split second. All right. Zach's going to let these fetches happen. Would you? Oh, no. He stifled one. Okay.
Well, so the only thing I could think of was him just keeping the Force of Will. Doing the Protect the Queen strategy. Yeah, reveal the Stifle to flip a Delver. I will tell you this: if I had Delver and a fetch land and Stifle in my hand, I go fetch pass every single time.
All right.
No,
Delver dies.
It depends. You can't ask that question because there's a million different scenarios. What if the guy's at 3 and he's hellbent? Yeah, I'm gonna flip the Delver. You know, it all depends on the play and what I'm playing against.
Nate with the philosophical "there's no such thing as time travel" comment.
The thing is that what they don't know is I would go back in time, go to the desert where Jorgensen buried all of his alpha cards and just take them and just go all the bands that Nate was going to go to and just go first.
He had the Force of Will and it didn't work because he used the Stifle. That didn't play out quite how he wanted it to.
You're kind of actually seeing kind of the issue with the Stifle Wasteland strategy sometimes, where if you don't have immediate pressure, your opponent eventually just kind of gets himself out of it. Mm-hmm. You know,
I'm not sure why he didn't lead on Thoughtseize though, so he could find out all that.
I think he just wanted to put that pressure on it. I think this was the turn where he was going to try to go on to him. He didn't want to have Christian to have more turns to draw out of it. Is that? I think Gurmag's the 2.
2 and Thoughtseize. 2 uncastable Gurmags at the moment.
He has no way to shuffle these away. They're in a. This is an interesting spot. Yeah, we've got to see the Thoughtseize go off pretty soon here. There's no reason not to. There we go. Let's see what Christian's got. This is actually pretty important because. Oh, okay. Let's just play around spell pierce. Well, I mean, play around Dave. I don't know. True Name, Snapcaster, Swords, and Fatal Push. Is that Fatal Push?
Yeah.
Those are all good cards, but Christian can't cast them.
You got to take the True Name though, right? Because if he draws a fetch land, he can.
What's the glare card? Do we know? I think
it's a basic. I think it's a.
Let's find out what basic it is. I feel like it's too critical for this.
I think it's a plains, but I'm not sure. He takes the True Name. Yeah. So we got a plains and we got another land that just came down. Yeah, it's a basic swamp.
Okay, that's a good draw. Well, did he take the True Name?
Yeah. So it would have been uncastable though.
Okay, well, I mean, Zach didn't know that. I think you're right though. I think you take the True Name because if you draw a fetch or you draw an island, True Name comes down, and Zach doesn't have a way to deal with it.
So Zach now needs to deal with a Snapcaster in hand and a Swords before he can keep a threat.
So his 2 Gurmags in hand are pretty much useless. They're not useless, but they are useless. They're not surviving anything. Yeah, this is tough. The way the game's going, someone still needs to resolve a good threat.
Wait, somebody has to do something?
Yeah, someone's got to do something.
Okay. This is critical.
Usually we have a situation where someone's like pushing forward and the other person's backpedaling. This is kind of where everyone's just in their corner kind of waiting. That's a good draw. Ponder's going to see Abrupt Decay, and something.
How do you feel about Gurmag and Goyf in the same deck, especially with 3 fish in a deck like this?
It's still good because at the end of the day, I think Gurmag. There's so much interaction. Most of the time, your opponent Turbogoy feeds off your opponent's graveyard anyways, so I think you're fine. To go on with my analysis, since Nate's commenting, I do know this: whoever's life points hit 0 first will lose.
Well, there's reasons why that might not be true.
That's generally what you want to do when you play Magic cards. Is try to put your opponent to 0 life points.
Okay, so that's the goal. Now we just need to find a way
for all
to
you
make that happen.
seasoned Legacy players who have forgotten, the object of the game is put your opponent to 0 life points.
The way this particular game is going, one player might deck themselves before that happens, though.
That could be true.
Generally.
Highly unlikely. It is Mongoose. Nate's right. The Gurmag's Mongoose.
It just can't be killed by things that are 3/1s.
Yeah.
And
it's
things.
better. It's 5/5.
And it's better. Yeah. It ends the game quicker than Mongoose. You want wait. That's how you play Magic?
So there's Zach. So Zach has the 1 True Name. So now, okay, there we go.
Oh, that's
there.
I didn't know he had that.
There's a chance this True Name will attack 8 times. Not 8 times. He will not attack 8 times. He'll attack. What's this map here? 6 times.
5 plus 1. 5 times plus a fetch land.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see this True Name attack 5 times because Christian will fetch, and that's how Zach's gonna win.
Yeah, but Gurmag's better. There's things that kill a resolved Mongoose, like engineered explosives.
Well, another thing too is sometimes a 1/1 just doesn't get there,
or a toxic deluge,
or even a 3/3 is just kind of like, what blocks a 3/3 Mongoose really well? A 5/5 Gurmag.
Yeah, right. There's reasons why the Gurmag's is stronger.
Its time has come and go, and like I said, he's sitting on that velvet couch in that bar talking with Werebear, his old friend. They're best pals. They used to be best pals. They're home again. So.
I know Iona's apparently looking for a table.
She's like, she may be still okay.
Okay. Snapping, nothing relevant.
Brainstorm, Ponder, Thoughtseize, maybe. Zach slowly kind of rebuilt his arsenal. He's got Abrupt Decays to deal with anything. Got more Gurmag Anglers, and he's got Well, this Inquisition is going to just straight up blank.
Might as well. Abrupt Decay the Snapcaster when
Yeah,
you're about
and
to
he's
lose
just
it.
going to blank, yeah. I guess pay 3 mana, discard Abrupt Decay. I mean, that Snapcaster wasn't going to be relevant anyways, but it did provide a solution to one of the Gurmags.
Yeah. If a Gurmag came down right here, he'd be able to swords it. With Rug Madness? That was a thing that happened?
With like, what's the little lizard guy? He's what is he? Lizard, come on. He's got madness. What's the lizard that has madness? Oh, come on. What is it?
Is it a lizard?
It's like a famous card. Like he's in that
A
bar.
basking
Yeah,
Rootwalla?
Rootwalla. He's in that
I
bar.
don't know it's a lizard. No, he just went 4-0 in New York. last
Former
night.
not natural order, former survival of the fittest superstar.
Everybody. Rootwalla!
Yeah, he's there.
That lizard.
Rootwalla's
He knows a lizard.
he's been in that bar for a real long time.
What is he basking in, though?
Old greatness.
Madness.
Madness.
Yeah.
This is the old times.
If someone resolves a Rootwalla, you should consider.
It's like, yeah, because like
Oh!
there's...
You got me.
Yeah. You know what, Nate? I think my analysis of somebody was going to attack somebody to 0 was spot on. Because this is exactly what's happening.
True Name's a totally fair Magic card.
Yeah, it's just a 3/1.
It only dies to like 6 cards.
Played Commander a little bit while I was in California with the pre-made decks. And I picked the deck that had True Name in it. And the guy's reading True Name. He's like, so it's got protection from everything? And I was like, no, just you.
And all your stuff.
I think this is pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah. Is there anything Christian even has in his deck that can deal with it?
Unless he has a mainboard Diabolic Edict, which I don't think he does. I mean, Zach's going to be able to Abrupt Decay the Germ Token for tempo. I think Zach's going to get this pretty solidly.
I didn't update our timer. I have no idea how far we are into this match. I'm sorry, everyone. Well, our other match is shuffling up for a game 2, probably.
Remy versus Miracles?
I think so.
Yeah, I saw it first. Well,
so we'll stay here for a minute, even though this is... Oh, that would have been a thing, right? Batterskull, this could be a thing.
I think this is his tempo play. It's interesting. His tempo play is the Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay the Germ Token and just win from that. Because I don't think...
Christian's going to Swords his own Germ in response, gain a little life. Swords isn't doing much else at the moment. And so Zach's contemplating whether he wants to Abrupt Decay it as a way of stopping that 4 life gain. I think he would rather Abrupt Decay the Stoneforge Mystic and stop Batterskull coming back down, right?
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Or maybe he has something else.
I think you just do that. I think that just shores it up.
We'll stay here and watch this end.
Also, Gurmag's coming down too. And we now know that Zach knows that the Snapcaster and swords that he was worried about to kill his Gurmags is now gone. I think it's fair to say that this Gurmag and True Name, not Gurmag, this Gurmag and Termagrife are now safe. Vintage doesn't count. Vintage is like a different world. To be honest, like all the vintage cards are probably in that. It's probably called the Vintage Bar.
Werebear is played
Yeah.
in Vintage now? The Vintage Bar. Why isn't that a thing?
The Vintage Bar?
Yeah.
Well, make it a thing.
What?
We'll have people dressed as werebears.
If Iona is stepping in, people go.
Stoneforge Mystic probably was real close.
All right, I'm gonna show you guys this other match as it's getting started. I'll keep this one up just in case anything miraculously interesting happens.
So this is Antiquities War vs. Miracles and Chalice on 1.
So Corey has game 1 at least. He has a game. How about? Because Remy's going first.
He's got to force this. We had this conversation earlier at the beginning of the stream. 17 cantrips that can't be cast because there's a Chalice on 1.
Yeah. You
got to force. And here we see. We're going to see force. I mean, you can tell the price being paid here because Back to Basics is so good against Remy. when I played Remy with Miracles, he even told me every time I resolve back to basics, basically he should just scoop. There's just no way to interact it once he cut red. So Corey basically saying, hey, I'm going to pitch this card, which just shuts this game down, really speaks to the truth that he's got to be able to cast those cantrips.
So our other match, sure enough, Zach abrupt decays the Stoneforge after it got equipped or in response to, and that was the game. Ponder.
Pondering about this one.
Pointing at that moon.
Isn't it just the other Ponder, but just from a different angle? Because isn't the other Ponder the guy pointing at the moons? And that's just him?
No.
You think so? I think so. I think so.
The other Ponders, there's a lot more going on.
No, not that one. The other one.
No, like okay, the moon's Ponders.
Okay, yeah.
All right, hold on. We'll show everybody what's happening here.
Okay. So Pondered.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Look, he's grabbing the moons.
Okay, hold on.
That guy's pointing at moons, and they're grabbing moons. I expect chat to side with me on this one.
Okay. So here's this Ponder, right?
That's that Ponder.
That's
guy's
not
grabbing
the one
moons.
Okay, he's grabbing a moon, but there's also a dude's face in the background. You seen that?
Yeah.
Look at that face.
Yeah, that guy's somewhere in the picture.
There's a face.
That's probably him. That's probably him contemplating.
Okay. And then we got, what do we have? We have this Ponder.
Yeah. Oh, like,
this is what Corey actually cast.
Yeah. Same picture.
No, it's a different guy.
That's the moon he chose.
And there's like,
that's the one.
There's like stars going to the moon.
Yeah, important's terrible. I'm not sure important. Same picture, different angle. Full art. Fella's is gonna have a hard job getting employed in the state of Utah.
We just pondered about Ponder there, guys. That's what we did. The Vintage Legacy ban list bar.
It's not the ban list because I mean freaking Werebear's in there. He's not banned in any format.
But he's like mounted on the wall.
Yeah. Countryside Crusher, he's in the bar. That's another one. Countryside Crusher. He's in the bar. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a sad one. The Countryside Crusher being in there.
We have life totals, but they're just off screen. Just unknown. 19 to 20 right now.
So this Karn's not is gonna give Corey some fits. Just the value of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the only way he can remove it is Council's Judgment, and he's in the wrong colors.
Right. He might have a counter spell here, though.
He's gonna dig for a force.
Okay. He really wants to counter this
I
card.
think he has to. I think Karn is gonna start just running away with value.
Scragnoth.
I don't think Scragnoth's in there.
Did Scragnoth ever actually become a thing, or was it just thought to be a thing? Like it was a card that got like spoiled, and everybody went, yes, finally an answer to blue.
Riverboa is definitely in the club. He was a guy he saw play. I don't remember Scragnoth though.
Wait. Teague is good against Corey doesn't have Teague.
Well, that's not I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, Shatterstorm is also really strong. Like,
are you sure? Which one is Shatter? Do you mean Shatter? Wait, do you mean Shatterstorm's the? Oh, I'm thinking of. Okay, you're right. Shatterstorm's really good.
Oh, hello. I've got an Abyss.
Why would you have an Abyss?
That's really kind of weird. Because he has an Abyss and wants to play it.
I think that's like the one thing about Remy is like he's kind of like a comic book villain where he's like got his signature moves, and it's just like, Remy, why are you telling me your master plan?
I've definitely lost to that Abyss before.
I do. Yeah, I do.
I'm not sure that Corey's going to, but
he's got a. Yeah.
We have some pointing at the Abyss, which is a natural thing.
There's an Abyss and upon an Abyss.
It's true.
That's. Yeah.
It's pretty deep right there.
It is.
It's even
Dr. D. Oh. That bar idea was a real cute idea. HC Fox is just making it into this grotesque like
all of Onslaught and Mirage and Urza's Saga is inside of it.
I guess the bang cards can be in there too. Deathright's definitely in there. He's probably hammered in some corner, telling everybody about how good he was.
This Karn is a particularly strange planeswalker in that it keeps ticking up, right?
Yeah.
And so most planeswalkers, when they keep ticking up, you have to deal with them. You don't actually have to deal with Karn that way. It doesn't have an ultimate, right?
Well,
but the card advantage that
it just
if you see a Karn that has 8 counters on it plus, you've probably lost the game.
Yeah, and then I mean, it gets to a point where if you get to 10 counters or something ridiculous, you start making dudes, like,
right? Yeah.
You know.
It's strange though because it works a little different than most of the planeswalkers that way.
It's to me the offset about it is it's colorless. That's the crazy part to me. It's a planeswalker that's colorless that can't be hydroblasted or pyroblasted because generally, I mean, it's the age-old argument. Like, what do you do against Jaces? You can pyroblast it, and that's what kind of checks Jace. Karn doesn't have that. But the difference between Karn and Jace is Karn doesn't really slot in as easily as Jace does in other decks, because Jace can be your win condition too, just purely by doing what he wants to be doing. But Karn, yeah, I mean, it's definitely good.
This is a weird play. I don't think this is what I would have done. We were talking about why bring in the Abyss versus Miracles. It's not horrid, but it's also not great. I think I would have just upticked Karn there, but okay.
There's the Pyroblasting a Thoughtcast. Why did C Fox give it a stamp of approval?
Well, then it's obviously incorrect. We got a few new people in here. If you guys want, give us a follow. You get to see when we go live. We stream live Legacy like this on Tuesdays. We're doing Modern on Fridays, and we have a big Legacy tournament coming up this Saturday that we will be streaming.
The interesting part is when we talked about Council's Judgment being the only answer to Karn 2 turns ago, there was a volcanic and there was an island on the front. and then he drew the plains and the tundra. So, I mean...
Play a $250 Tundra peasant. Hey, maybe it's a near mint one and it's like 300 plus, all right? Maybe that Italian Abyss has a nick in it and it's only
maybe it doesn't have a
400.
Back. Maybe the back is actually like the root wall or something.
HC Fox coming in here with the dollar amount.
Every time, he's got a mentor. Ooh, this Abyss is gonna do something.
So this is exactly though what the problem is with Abyss in this matchup, right? It's like, does it actually do anything? Does it achieve what he wants it to achieve?
I mean, would Dread of Night been strictly better? Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe he doesn't have a sideboard card that comes in anyway, and Abyss is fine.
But I mean, if your opponent entreats for like 3 angels, I guess like. Okay.
I mean, it's killing that monk token.
Yeah,
it is. It's going to sucked into that Abyss. Never even going to get a chance to attack.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like Remy might be a little flooded too.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Ooh, okay.
E on 3.
This is successful. The timing gets a little weird here if Corey has a cantrip, right? Which I think he does. He put it on 3. Okay, never mind.
With the EE, I kind of want to hold it back because like you don't get a big shot of stopping back to basics cards, or just blow it. I was gonna see if we could get value from our Abyss. You know, we're committed to playing the Abyss, so I really wanted to see if we could just like put Corey in a position where he had to sack the mentor to the Abyss.
Right.
But yeah, we're not doing that.
I like that. I really like this line where you kind of hold back, or just blow it. Just never mind.
Yeah, You know,
he didn't do that either.
Maybe Remy forgot he has the Abyss because he's so used to seeing the Abyss on this playmat. He just thinks that,
or he saw that the mentor was never going to die.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, you're right.
So just take care of it when you can.
But I feel like you could have played a little bit more out because, like, you're at 20 life.
Yeah.
Like, you could have milked it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Abyss trigger.
Abyss trigger.
Thanks, Remy.
Well, here comes something. Oh, we just threw that out there.
There's an unpyrobastable Karn again.
There's Brainstorm.
That back to basics is exile.
It's exile.
It got pitched to a force of will very early on. That's why it's all sideways like that.
Yeah, it's exile from force of will.
And we were talking about that earlier. I'm sure he would have loved to play that, but
yeah, well, I mean, look how good it would have been.
It pitched to counter a Chalice on turn 1. So,
gosh, the way Remy just threw out. I love playing against Remy. He's. I feel like him and Calvin have like kind of been a little bit more. I don't want to say raunchins, but like they've been a little bit more not aggressive even, but they're starting to be more like kind of filling their roles. Remy's definitely a bad guy though. He's got the double abyss. Also French.
All right, Chalice goes underneath the Karn, and Remy gets a City of Traders. So
that's a good point, Nate. Yeah,
get that Chalice next turn.
You know, Nate, he had the Volk in the island straight off the bat, and he needed the Tundra to cast the Council's Judgment. So he may not have a choice. All these lands, I think, are just natural lands.
Council's Judgment number 2.
That's good. Very good.
Snapcaster. Yeah, so there's the argument for the guy that Fox just said. You'd have a token.
Yeah, you do. But I think Remy's down on cards, and I think he wants to regain some of it. And heck, getting that Chalice would have been good.
Yeah, so he's purposely leaving the Chalice set aside because you actually can still cast that Chalice eventually if you get yet another Karn.
Oh, man. Talking about a swing of emotions.
Hey, I got another 4-mana thing that wins the game. Oh, no, I don't. Don't get that one either. Snapcaster dies, goes to the Abyss.
You know, someone who, I mean, Miracle's not the most fun deck to watch, but this match is, I mean, this is a brawl. Like, they're going back and forth.
Yes, HC Fox. A different Karn can pick it up. That's what I was saying. Yeah. This is a pretty good answer, though, right? Jace,
yeah, this
is a good way to win the game.
This may just be the... Yeah, this may be the blow. I don't think Remy can deal with this Jace without a board presence already.
He could get an engineered explosive.
Oh, wait a minute! There's a thing. There's a spyglass.
Spyglass. Corey goes, really?
God. Okay, there we go. You know, he's got a force will, but no blue card.
What's his other card?
I think it's a land. Corey reading. Oh, whoa. Oh.
That's great. Off the top.
This is like the thrill in Manila.
Remy has done no deck stacking this game. He hasn't cast a single card to brainstorm or anything. These are all just off the top.
Not off the rails. God, this is just one blow. Oh, no. Okay, no, he sees it. Okay, what is that? Oh, it's Hercule's Recall? Why didn't he force it? He can Hercules it.
Yeah. He can.
Ooh, vintage superstar
Hercule's Recall. So this Hercule's Recall is going to destroy Glimmer Voids.
Oh, wow.
And
that's sad.
Change the game a little bit here.
Well, that's a bomb too. Hercule's Recall. Who saw that coming? Because I didn't.
So the timing is. Does he want to do it now?
He's going to. Wouldn't he wait to the end of turn so then he can force a will it on the way? Wow.
Oh, maybe that was end of turn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because otherwise, he would have be able to run out the Spyglass.
What a bomb!
How about that?
Yeah.
Corey's played against Remy one too many times.
Wow.
And now he's got Force of Will up for the Spyglass if it was to come down again.
Remy's not dying any creatures. Well, in this game, we may not see an opponent go to 0 life points. So you may see a player uptick a Planeswalker, proceed to ult with that Planeswalker to eventually win the game. That's all I know about that.
This is great.
This game, wow. What a swing of 3 turns. Just the agony, the heartbreak. There's an abyss on the field for no reason. Man. I feel for Remy, though. I feel like every time he drew those cards, it just boom.
Gets to put out a few more things.
Yeah.
Oh, he can play a land here and then have mana? I think you have to.
I think you gotta play the Spyglass, right?
Yeah, he knows about the Force of Will, though.
But I think you just gotta be efficient with your mana, so if you draw in something else... Oh, there's the AK1. There's your radical idea. for all you standard players out there.
It's half a divination. Feels good.
Oh, this Jace is gonna just brainstorm poor Remy to death.
Was that a Teferi?
That's not a Teferi. If we see a Teferi out, I don't think Corey plays Teferi. That Hercules recall was just bananas. Wow, that's the Teferi.
Yep.
This is Teferi.
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
Teferi. I can
yeah.
see him. He's coming with his cane.
Correct. I think you're correct.
Yeah, this is it.
I don't see how Remy could do it. If it wasn't for the Force of Will, then I think there's some things Remy could draw.
That'd still be tough though, because then Teferi just shoots out the Spyglass anyways.
Right.
And then Corey can even +2 Jace and get rid of the Spyglass. One thing I love about Magic Arena is when you use Teferi and you put it on top of their deck, it like appears when it shows up.
Yeah. You can still see it.
I don't have to think that hard. I have to be like, wait, one.
Most known information is known. And it'll do it even if you tuck a card. I think it'll show it. Like if you tuck a card 2 from the top or something like that. I think you still see it. I don't know if there's a way to do that in Standard. Maybe I'm making stuff up, but
I think there's something.
I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah, because Surveil 2. No, yeah. If you Surveil 2 and keep it on top.
Yeah.
That stupid guy.
Then you've seen your own.
Is a black dude. He's he's a demon. He's black. I mean, he's got a bunch of hands. He's the hands guy.
Yeah, that guy.
He's a demon. He's very good. He's 6'6", respectable guy. I'm sure he's got
ridiculously mana efficient guy.
He's got a 401k. He's a great guy. He's a demon. What's his name? Demon. He's got hands. He's got a cool
401k.
What's it?
I'm just enjoying you telling us more about him.
I don't know why I can't. I don't know any Magic cards tonight. I had a Heritage Druidess Festival. I had a Root Wall. I couldn't figure it out. It was Lizard.
This Lizard Madness.
Yeah. It's something demon. I'm surprised one of you guys doesn't know what it is. Doom Whisperer. It doesn't even have demon in its name. That guy.
Does Doom Whisperer? Does he actually whisper?
I don't think so. He seems loud.
Does he just do?
Well, when he comes in, throws his hands everywhere. That's his animation.
But he just
he could be whispering.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah.
On Arena, he comes in. Doom. That was it. Oh man, that's a missed opportunity for Arena. Carnage Tyrant yells and screams at everything, and the Doom Whisperer just whispers at you. Oh man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right that Remy doesn't have it out.
I think
he lost game 1. I'm pretty sure, so he's just playing it out.
I think this is just in case.
Mishra's Workshop can't even win here.
He's on the bathroom out, which is my favorite out. If somehow Corey needs to go to the bathroom and never comes back, Remy can take this game.
The super sweet looking black V5 mat is going on until December 7th. Is that do they make it to order, or is it kind of like a lottery to place one, Jorgensen?
They don't go out. They don't sell out that quickly.
Okay, so they're obtainable if you want to buy one.
Yeah, I bought the gray one that has the pagoda on it. Have you ever seen that one I have?
Yeah.
And that one didn't sell out at all.
Okay.
It took a while.
So this one might be a couple hours. What for the peoples?
Are you sure, Jorgensen? I bought the last few Spellgrounds and given them to friends, and they usually don't sell out. Like all those special Halloween ones and all the Christmas ones. Are you sure? I'll buy the black and blue one. I trust you, Jorgensen, so I'll go off your thing, but usually I thought they've been doing a better job of circulating them. Maybe they go in batches. I don't know. Oh, okay. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. That makes sense.
Well, I'll mark that. I don't own one yet. I'm getting a black one. Sweet.
They're my favorite mats by far. I actually since this is game just drifting into the abyss.
I'm having a bad effect on Terry. Make it stop.
But it's like, I don't know, those mats are just great. I mean, they're even the newer ones, but like it's always cool to see. There's an original Spellground that Brain Culsa Games did. Wow, wait a minute, they're redoing that one. People are gonna look like me. That's cool because that's the that's interesting. Right. So they're redoing those two versions. So I'm curious. I'm surprised they did that. I'll probably buy that pagoda one. That one looks very pretty. I'll probably buy that one and maybe a new black one, just because my black one's got a coffee stain on the back of it, and I kind of want to retire it. Oh, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him that. I'm gonna tell that Nate. I'm gonna tell him right there. If that jerk's using Hercules Recall,
Hey, Remy. If you're going to play Hercules Recall in this format, you should play the Immortal Sign. Just tell me. That's your pro tip for the day. That was from Nate too. Nate all the way in New York or whatever.
Look at this. Chat gets to interact with the players directly by proxy through Terry.
that's not Mortal Sun. I don't think it's playable. All right, see you, H2 Fox. Thanks for coming by, and yeah.
That was 2-0, right? I actually don't know.
I think it was 2-0. Hey, Nate, watch your language. This is a family stream. Come on. Nate knows better than that. Oh, Nate. I'll have to give him a talking to when I see him next.
So I'm pretty sure we have one more round, right? We're playing 4 rounds tonight?
4 rounds. We got a good amount of players tonight. It should be Zach versus Corey. And then my guess is maybe somebody we haven't seen versus Christian. Because Christian should be... Christian just got knocked off, right?
You realized you were talking to Utah, not New York, huh? Yeah, that's all right. You're forgiven. I didn't know. I didn't see anything.
What is this sideboard? What is that card right there?
This one?
Yeah.
Disrupt?
Oh, that's the card that stops in the Torok, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I usually just see it get pitched to force.
Yeah. Did we ever play the music?
Just when I had the timer going. Yeah, so from now on, I'm going to try, at least on Tuesday streams, to start like 5 minutes early, so we'll have a little countdown timer so that you guys get to see the first opening plays instead of jumping in a little later.
He's got 2 disrupts, Nate. Not just 1. He's got 2.
Yeah. It's a disrupting game plan.
Yeah.
That's what you do with it.
It is.
Makes sense.
Right, literally.
That's all
He's packing heat for Calvin, I guess, because Calvin plays him the Torok.
I'll show you guys this card if you want to see it.
It's interesting because it was a one of in that Rug Delver list that top 8'd the GP. That's a weird art.
Yeah. I'm not sure what he's doing with the Weatherlight art, but
what's that guy in his box? What's he doing with that box?
It's a disrupting box.
What's in the box?
It's his face. Or her face. Everybody knows that if you were in Weatherlight, to disrupt spells, you had to have a...
Wait a minute, that's not disrupt. He's not... I thought this disrupt was... I thought this was the other card. He's playing disrupt?
Yeah.
What? It doesn't even stop a planeswalker.
What is the cage that doesn't let electronic signals go out of it? You have like copper wires around the cage?
I don't know. I thought this was divert.
No.
This isn't divert. This is disrupt. Okay.
A Faraday cage. That's what this person's wearing, obviously.
Why would they wear a Faraday? Why do you do that?
Well, to block electromagnetic signals, of course.
From like the government?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Sure. You want to be doing that. Yeah, I'm going to ask him that, Nate. That's a great question.
This is important to know. It would be fascinating to know why he's got it.
Nate's concerned, Corey, he just wants to ask you. He's worried. Did you lose your Fluster Storms? Yeah, because you saw that you were playing Disrupt, and we first thought that maybe it was an error, but then we figured out.
I never went live on Facebook. I failed. I failed chat.
Not for me. You think that's for me. You think that's for me. It's not. It's actually for
Whoops.
me. You want to come?
Well, you guys are all here in Twitch anyway. So we're going to do this neat thing on Twitch on Saturday for our Legacy stream. We're going to have Cardboard Live. So you'll be able to, even though we're doing Paper Magic, you'll be able to see a pop-up on your Twitch that'll show deck lists. And it works out pretty well. It's a little bit of work on our end. So we're kind of typing things and finagling things while we're trying to stream at the same time. But it's a nice kind of, if you've seen this on Arena, some people have an overlay where you can overlay and look at cards. You can't do that, but you will be able to see the full deck lists for all.
You
the
gotta tell
players.
me. You think it's me. In your mind, you're like, oh, Tori's just talking.
Oh,
crap.
okay. Here's
No.
Corey. He's
Yeah.
gonna tell the world.
And look at the last thing that person said. The Frozen Divide, straight from New York. That's Nate. God, what's Nate's last name? I'm having a brain drain all night tonight.
What?
I was about to say Feldman. His last name's not Feldman. It's Golia.
That's Corey Feldman.
Oh yeah.
So I know where you're headed with that.
Why the disrupts?
I just like to draw cards.
And the flavor text is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Why
why.
did you choose that art? Is it because you're interested in Faraday cages?
Is there another
Yeah.
version of Disrupt?
Yeah, there's an invasion. You can have this very disrupting looking thing.
Oh no, that's lame.
I mean, I spent.
Or-
I mean that looks like it has Teferi in it. So
Yeah.
like I am playing Teferi.
And Urza.
so-
I literally spent 2 minutes explaining why you were playing Divert, and then somebody's like, "Wait a minute, that's not Divert."
Disrupt. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, last week I was the only fair deck in the whole room.
Okay.
And-
Fair being miracles, fair. Feels
like
fair.
it's fair.
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have to counter all your stuff or else you win.
Yeah.
So like there was 7 combo decks, and so I thought, let's just get people with Disrupt.
That makes sense.
Because it's always at least a cantrip, right? Because even if it fails the counter,
You still draw a card, yeah.
I mean, I guess it can play some mana tempo-ness too.
Yeah.
Now, who's gonna play around days against miracles? I sure don't.
Right. And there was plenty of times where, it didn't quite counter a spell, but they had to pay an extra mana, and I got a mentor token out of it, So
That's
like
true.
it
There's disrupt. Or all right. This is very critically important that we figure this out right now. Which one?
It seems like if you counter a Hymn to Torok with that, it's just like a blowout.
It's
like,
real.
It's like a 2 for
it's
1.
really a blowout.
Do you flavor
It's a
win
3 for
if
1.
you've got
Yeah.
Teferi and they've
It's-
got Urza?
It's
Or
It's
not
good.
Urza,
I can
Karn.
see why it's good. I just like. It just seems
nobody's
well, late
playing
game,
nobody's
it's a
playing Hymn to
cantrip.
Torok though
Yeah, it does seem like
anymore. Like everybody at this store is on something unfair.
that's true.
Stockton's playing your
Yeah.
your fair deck,
Yeah.
but like
Was that 2-1 for you?
if you
Or
disrupt
2-0?
if you disrupt a cake command or something, like gotcha.
Hey, Captain QC's here. Perfect.
It
Was that-
seems really good for like Storm, where like you can disrupt their cantrips. It's like
Mhm.
you know how like you like feel bad spell piercing your cantrips sometimes.
Mhm.
But like I get it. It actually isn't terrible.
I mean, it replaces itself, and that's like
Yeah.
it's actually been really good, and it hasn't always just countered the spell, but even making people spend an extra one, it put them off a turn because of their mana, whatever.
Do you cut cantrips for it, or do you cut other stuff? Like what goes out for your disrupts usually?
Well, my disrupts in the main deck.
Oh, they're in the main.
They're in the main deck.
Oh, with both of them?
what?
Yeah, both of them are in the main deck.
You were really not going to lose to a combo deck today.
No.
I kind of like it actually, and even this is weird because Nate's the one bashing you and I'm the one defending you. I like it because the deck runs so many cantrips. It just takes like a cantrip slot, so you can always just fall back and cantrip and
Yeah.
just kind of mess with them a little bit. But if you get the payoff just seems really good.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Well, there's
I would
definitely
be willing to
been
play
a time
one.
where if I've had a mentor out,
Yeah.
right, and like I'll cast Brainstorm and then I'll disrupt it
Yeah.
and pay the 1 and get the token, draw a card, then Brainstorm, draw my cards, and then just use it as a cantrip in that sense, and then
I kind of like it. I would agree to 1 to 2 in miracles.
and I do like it alongside the accumulated knowledge because you are I mean, you're playing everything at instant speed, pretty much. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a believer. Is Nate walking back what he said, or is he just disappeared?
He's pretending to walk it back.
Or is
He said it's time walk.
don't get me wrong. I don't think it's format breaking. It's not like
No, it's not. It's not like opt because you can use it
But the
against
thing
a
with
show and tell deck.
miracles is like if
Yeah.
the deck can play the deck can play 4 accumulated knowledge. You can play Portent, Ponder, Brainstorm, and Preordain. Like I don't think it's that offsetting to have like 2 slots for a card that cantrips and does something else. Because at the end of the day, you just cantrip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's decent.
Can you guys in chat hear Terry when he's asking questions from where he's standing,
I think so.
or are you super? Is he super silent?
It's
I'll
so
take
much
that.
better against the 3 mana combo spells.
Yeah.
So like it's so good against show and tell, It's really good against
He's
like
less
Past the
surprised.
Flames or
Less surprised.
any of
now.
those kind of things. Because
Okay, audible.
even if they pay the extra one and then they can't, then they can't actually cast their Dark Ritual from the graveyard or something, or
No, I can see why. I mean, it being a
K
daze
command.
that can cantrip, I can see it. I mean, it's strictly better than daze in your deck. You don't want to be playing daze in miracles.
yeah, I don't have to be playing days.
So that makes sense. I like it. I became a believer. I'm a believer.
Just like that. Just like that. All right, we've got round
maybe
4.
you'll see it. Maybe you'll see it this round too.
Who you play against? Or you gonna play against that?
All right, you got to play Zach,
Alright.
and we've got Christian
I
versus
got good news for
Brian.
you guys. So, yeah, you guys
So Esper Blade versus.
well, you're gonna find out real soon.
I'm not sure actually what Brian's playing tonight. He sometimes
I
he's
think
playing
Rocket
Food
City
Chain,
is still
and recently he's
exists.
been
I'm
playing
not
a Reanimator.
Did we knock it out? I think we knocked it out. I think it's bombed out. Well, hey, there's some ruins there you can visit.
Where's my deck?
Your jacket?
Deck.
What case was it in? Is it right here, Corey? Hey, is it?
It's not this, is it?
Oh, you got it. Okay, sounds good.
All right, one more round of Legacy for you guys tonight. We get to see. This will be an interesting matchup: Dark Thresh versus Miracles.
And then we have Food Chain and versus Esper Stoneblade. So we got a little bit of interesting things. Hey, what do you mean, Captain QC? You told me to go in the next room. Guess what? There isn't a next room. This is the only room.
All right, so these are our 2 undefeateds.
Yeah, 2 undefeated. So Miracles versus Dark Thresh.
I'm actually going to give you a timer this time, so you can have a sense of things.
And our consolation bracket is Food Chain versus Esper Blade. My predictions. I'm curious to really see the Miracles and Dark Thresh one play out. Me and Zach have actually played this, and basically we've kind of determined if Miracles can't assemble its basics and like gets kind of a clunky cantrip draw where you're kind of having to cantrip every turn to set up 2 turns ahead, Dark Thresh can get underneath it and kind of beat it out. And like one good Stifle and Terminus can mean all the difference in the world. So it's not as much as Delver decks usually are unfavored versus Miracles. There's some game here. Obviously Termagoyf and the fish are can die. I mean, swords makes those cards a little bit worse, but you don't have young Pyromancer to go wide. But I think it's all about just protecting the queen, getting in quickly, stifling a land, putting Corey in a position where he has to play a dual land to turn on your wastelands. There's some good lines here from Zach, and he can definitely take it away. While Corey just wants to assemble his mana base, deal with Zach's threats, and go to the long game. So
It's true. It is funny that the other night we had all of these show and tell and combo decks, and here we've got just bear decks. But yeah, Zach's gonna mulligan quick.
I just want to see a divert or disrupt.
One of them. One of those two. Either one.
Yeah.
I like the fish. The fish.
The fish.
They're hanging out at the other bar. The one that's
Well,
actually serving drinks.
they're in like the other real one,
Yeah.
the club or whatever. He's there talking with Termagoy. No, Termagoy's not. See, Termagoy kind of goes back and forth. He's that guy. Not a fan of him.
But there's so many versions of Tarmogoyf. It'd be old.
Yeah,
right?
see, somebody get confused.
It's kind of too bad that the new Gurmag Angler didn't get a slightly different printing.
I really wish he did. He's such a card that's now become kind of iconic that I wish he would. I wish he would have.
I'd even like it if it was the similar looking fish with the little light and stuff, just from a different angle or something. That'd be cool. Feels like I don't know. I guess every time that a card gets reprinted, it's a missed opportunity to, and they can only spend so much to redo so many arts. But then you get a new foil, and you get an old foil. That's fun.
I miss the a little off subject. I still miss the old player cards though, like the Snapcaster Mages and stuff like that. I don't know why they did away with that.
The player rewards, like the textless ones.
No, the ones where they make the person into a man, like
the invitational cards.
Yeah. I would just ask for a Gurmag reprint. That'd be mine. Just be my mouth. That'd be kind of funny. So this is a good start from Corey. It seems kind of ominous because he just goes island, island, do nothing. That's okay. He doesn't have to. He's playing around Stifle. Zach's Wastelands are dead. And, you know, if Zach taps out for a Tormorglyph, Corey could easily just go planes or fetch, go get a plane, swords him.
Yeah.
This is where Corey wants to be. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see the Tormorglyph here. I mean, he's a 1/2. But I think you have to respect it enough to swords it. And the thing with Miracles is putting swords in the graveyard for Snapcaster is still fine.
Yeah.
You can be a little bit more liberal with your Swords to Plowshares.
Does Corey have his Back to Basics main? He does, doesn't he?
He's one.
One main. Okay.
Yeah, one main.
So this is a little risky.
Yeah, I mean, Days is the thing. I get to the point where if he has Back to Basics and he has that Swords to Plowshare line, I think you maybe even just do the planes and slam the Back to Basics. Because if he doesn't have Days, you may just win the game.
Yeah.
While if he does have Days, you still recover and swords it a turn later.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see important. Important into important. What's quite happening in the important card?
What's going on
Yeah.
in the art?
Yeah.
They're portenting, of course.
What is that? What is important?
It's potentially powerful.
What is important?
You got Terry in here asking what portent is.
We're trying to figure out the meanings of life.
Look at that portent art.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
Okay, so this is Ice Age. You gotta give him a break, right? I think.
it also looks like the artist's signature is like Carlsberg beer. So it looks like there's like a Carlsberg beer thing on his like jacket.
This is Liz Danforth. She did a bunch of really cool magic art way back when.
Well, it's great art. I like it, but like it seems like it's like I could find this in the Smithsonian too.
That's when you portent something. That's what you do right there. You put on the headdress thing with the feathers and the thing, and
I guess
there's a lot of snow.
There's another one. He's portenting.
Yeah.
I guess if I was in battle with somebody and they portent twice in a row, I would be a little intimidated because I would have no idea what was going on.
And they would know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's great art. I mean, very beautiful. I would put it on my wall. I would. But when people ask me what's going on there, I would just have to lie. It's the great portent.
There's like a turtle with arms reaching out across the cross thing to get to the feathery eye thing.
It almost looks like that's a saga.
Look, you got
he's following
following because we're talking about this art. Hold on.
There's a lot of people who want to talk about portent because there's people who've been playing Legacy for years and they just know like what is going on. Oh,
we're showing the like 5th edition version, which is just wrong, but here it is.
That's what Corey's got. We'll match in it. I love
There's some fish. There's a turtle. There's like some snails. These are all things I didn't know existed on this card.
Yeah, it's a weird card. I've played with that. I just don't understand. So Dark Thresh Splash is technically actually an interesting question because Thresh is generally a green concept. So what is it splash for? Technically, it splashes for green because it's a blue-black shell still because of Brainstorm, the cantrips, Gurmag, and Thought Seizes. So it's really just for green for Termaglyph, Abrupt Decay, and then Golgari Great Charm out of the board. Yeah, it's technically Bug Thresh, but I mean, all Delver decks kind of are blue-blackish. They're all blue, and then they're all supplemented with another color, which is generally black, and then sometimes red, sometimes green, and sometimes they supplement with white, and they have the Delver Blade list, which is more Stonebladey than it is Delvery. So, I mean, all Delver decks kind of splash.
So, and you're calling it Dark Thresh instead of like Bug Delver because it's reminiscent of Canadian Threshold, where you have
it plays more like
Stifle.
Team America / Bug Delver was very much more him to Torok, playing Planeswalkers out of the board and playing Tombstalker. very kind of bigger. Is we're gonna kind of posture up and be bigger than Grixis Delver.
I like the motion.
Yeah,
That
while Dark Thresh is going smaller. Like it's true. Like as much as this is ridiculous that I'm saying this stuff, it's true.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of when you think Thresh, you were sneaking under. While Team America Bug Delver is you're landing on top of them with your Tomb Stalkers. Grixis Delver is very much more tempo-y, boxy, kind of hit you with the right hook. Throw a Gurmag Angler at you. You meet it with a 1-for-1 spell. I throw out a Young Pyromancer, spread the board, and your 1-for-1 spells aren't so good anymore. So that's your dichotomy and your history of Delver decks. I just portent to you the Delver history.
You just put your fish on top of your turtle with some shells and some arms reaching out for some circle things.
Yeah, I did.
And there's something going on at the top of the picture that just totally gets cut out.
I will be drawing a card.
We haven't even looked at the top of this. Look at the top of this. What's going on right up here? There's like a feathers that reach to something and it just totally gets cut off.
The weird part about this is on my port tangent, I was about to recap what I've missed, and we actually haven't missed anything. They've each played 2 lands. After the second portent, Corey pondered, and now he's brainstorming. We're in the same predicament. There's a Termagoyf that's slowly growing, and Corey's establishing his mana base, and we haven't seen an answer yet to this Termagoyf.
So, for all of you watching at home, Terry just said a lot of words, and none of them related to this actual game of Magic.
Yeah, but we were talking about portenting, which there are 2 portents in the graveyard. But I recovered and I told you what's happened since, so it's okay. Right.
We now know the entire history of Zach's deck. And
Delver.
And
Delver variants.
Nothing's changed.
And now you know the difference between Bug Delver and Dark Thresh. So when you meet that cute person at a bar, you can tell them that.
Which bar do you get to go to? The one that has Iona and
I'm going to tell you right now.
Bear, or
if you pick Team America, you may be showing up at that other bar. That's not so good. Tombstalker's probably at that other bar.
All right.
This is good for Corey because every Wasteland and every Stifle that Zach draws is becoming less powerful. Right. His Stifles now are going to be aimed at the Terminuses and Jace activations, which is still pretty good. I mean, going Jace, negativing and trying to deal with Termagoyf and getting stifled pretty much kills your Jace. Mm-hmm. So his Stifles aren't dead, but his Wastelands are getting a little bit awkward. Obviously, he is like hard cast force mana, but generally, if you have 5 lands Delver, it's not super optimal. And if you're in the long game versus Miracles, you know, there's going to be some inevitability. So it's Corey's at 12. It seems like he's really struggling to find an answer to this Termagoyf too.
I told you guys this was going to be an interesting match.
Yeah.
So far, maybe not. Maybe
it's a lot of. There's not a lot of action. There's a lot of I mean, we've seen 6 cantrips.
Yeah, that's all Corey's done.
But there's a lot of posturing.
He's got it back to basics in hand.
Corey's setting up to deal with this Termagoyf. Well, Zach's going to try to protect the queen.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite Magic terms, and it's a Canadian threshold term, going back to our important Delver story, where, you know, you pick your threat and you protect it, and that's how you ride to victory.
Right. Some Delver decks like to just keep throwing out threats like blue-red Delver, and then other ones like to play 1 and protect it, and then play another 1 and protect it.
Yeah, it's true. Fatal Push is dead. Abrupt Decay is dead. Well, Abrupt Decay is not dead. It kills Counterbalance, but, you know, I don't think Zach wants to be seeing his Abrupt Decays right now. This is cantrip. Wow. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6.
That's like a tenth of the cantrips in Corey's deck.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I mean, this is the problem with Miracles, and this is where sometimes it falls on its face. Sometimes you can cantrip all day, and you die cantripping.
Yeah, or you set it up so that you get down to like 1 life and then you win.
Yeah,
right?
but
you've locked.
Then you die to Bump in the Night or something weird.
Goyf eats his guards? Aw. You sure? Only if they're deer. Only if your cards are in Canada, Captain QC, where you have deer for cards. Then it makes sense.
That back to basics doesn't even seem that good right now.
Nope.
I mean, he's going to cast back to basics. And then may even turn on Abrupt Decay and then grow the Goyf even bigger. This is crazy. This is a brainstorm shuffle. There's a Jace.
There's a Jace. Okay.
There's another Brainstorm in his hand too.
Oh! You have a moose for a guard, not a deer. Well, I'm sure the Termaglyph gets confused.
Yeah, same thing.
And eats the moose anyway, like you said. Eats the guards. I got it. I understand.
Termaglyph seems like he'd be... Well, Termaglyph is Canadian. He was in Canadian Threshold. Ugh.
Yeah. And he eats moose.
Yeah.
On every art. Except that one.
Captain QC's probably bummed that all the decks in the original Canadian Threshold are in the bad bar. Oh yeah, Captain QC, you missed it. Basically, there's a bar out there with cards like Nimble Mongoose, Werebear, Countryside Crusher, Tombstalker. Termaglyph showed up in it at one point, but then got kicked out. Basically, where all the crap, where the old legacy cards go to die. Not die, they're happy.
All right, so this counterbalance is maybe trying to bait a force, or is just setting up to protect his Jace that's going to come down.
I think he's, yeah,
He's
got
got
a stack of
force,
one.
right?
There's the Swords to Plowshare. So now this dynamic just changed. This, I think Corey should just stick to the safe play and swords it. I don't think you want to get into this tricky. He can't anyways, right? Because he's gonna have to shuffle to play the Jace. But I think he just swords it and then you go about your merry way.
Yeah, and then you play next turn.
If you can stack something on top, that's relevant though. Oh wow, he disavows his own Canadians. You really trust somebody?
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah. I think every legacy Canadian player plays Canadian Threshold, right? They still do.
One time in their life, they have to.
Yeah.
It's like military service in South Korea, and you have to play Canadian Threshold in Canada.
Right. It sounds absolutely correct. There's nothing wrong with that statement whatsoever. It's required for the free healthcare.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Sure, pretty sure. You go to a hospital. Do you play? Have you played Canadian Threshold? Yes. Okay.
You're good.
You can have
Don't
your
have to
X-ray.
wait 10 hours, only 8.
All right. Here's the swords. He's got a counterspell to
So he's got Delver, Flooded Strand,
protect.
Fatal Push, Gurmag, card I can't read,
Dead weight.
and okay, so that's dead weight. What's the last one? Well, he's got a lot dead. So he's.
I don't know what the last one is.
This just isn't good.
Oh, it's a Delver. The last one's a Delver.
The first one's a Delver. Oh, I'm thinking the first one's a Delver, right?
Oh, this is a Delver. This is
Delver,
a
Flooded Strand, dead weight, Gurmag, 2 Fatal Push, and then Mystery. This is the Mystery. Oh no. Huh.
Fatal pushes his own Gurmag or his own Canadian
That's interesting.
deer eater thing.
Why do you think he does that? Do you think just to the point where Gurmag. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's growing his Gurmag. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Counterbalance trigger. Maybe?
We didn't
Or
see it go off
Corey
on the
knows.
Fatal Push, but maybe Corey just didn't care.
I don't think I've seen Zach play the maneuver. Does he have it in hand now?
No, he doesn't have it anymore. He's off that one.
Yeah. All right, fetch so that we can counterbalance trigger.
Well, there's 3 AKs next to each other. That would have been a field day. Keep this in mind. There's a back of basics in hand too.
Yeah. The 2 fetch lands probably. Zach doesn't need that many lands, right?
Yeah, but still, eventually you want to tap out for Termaglyph for somebody. You know, Zach. I think he runs 1 island, and he may even cut that.
Well, see, and I think Corey would be assuming that Zach has some form of counter magic in hand, which he doesn't. But so he's probably playing around that.
We'll see. This is counterspell. He's going for this counterspell. If this counterspell resolves, I think you know Spell Pierce isn't on the table.
Right.
You can still play around days.
If Zach runs out of Gurmag Angler here, he might be in trouble.
Snapcaster's on top, so Snapcaster swords the Gurmag too. That's tough.
Right, yeah.
Zach's in a tough spot.
Yep.
We kind of saw the nightmare happen where Corey has a bunch of basics and then the game's still going.
Yeah, and he successfully cantrips
17
long
times,
enough.
7 times, yeah.
Uses his life as a way to just set up for later, and then he gets to later.
Do you know how it all started? With 2 portents.
He read the future with a turtle with arms and some fruit by the foot,
It resolves, yeah.
all tied up in a knot. Is that what that is, guys? Do you think? Did they have fruit by the foot back then? Let's see. Pretty sure that's what that is.
I'm pretty sure fruit by the foot's not a new thing. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they've been doing
Yeah.
it since.
It's wrapped around his arms, reaching up towards the wings in a knot. Yep. We figured it out. Maybe Liz was just a fan.
I really want to ask her. If she goes to GP, I'm going to ask her. Hopefully she's not boycotting it like some other artists, but I'll ask her. And I really hope her answer is, I have no idea.
I needed some verticality. Needed to connect things up. And,
So there's the island. There's underground.
You have one island and no other basics in this deck?
No.
That's sad.
It's going to be interesting. Okay, so this is going to be a cantrip, most likely. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. If you can... Ooh.
First time we've seen counterbalance whiff for Corey.
A poof.
A poof! Following! Well done. Oh, you gotta have your thing go in the cup, maybe? Nope, you missed.
That's sad. Do they get anything if it goes in the cup?
You do. You should all follow so you can find out what you get.
Do you get like a phone call from me where I thank you for...
I give you like a high five through this camera.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yep.
You don't get a personalized phone call?
No, nobody wants that.
Somebody may.
Don't call me.
Hey, if you want to, okay, if anybody follows in the next 2 minutes, you can get a personalized phone call from me.
Suddenly there's 15 followers.
If we get one follow, I'm gonna be real happy. All you gotta do, I'll give you a phone call. I'll compliment you and thank you for your support and ask you a few questions, and we'll go on with our lives.
If you guys want and you have bits in Twitch, you can put them through the thing and see if they go. Oh no!
Wait a minute. Wait, there's some shenanigans going on.
There was some heavy work that just went into that follow right there.
He has to make it in the cup.
Oh, is that right? Wait, I didn't think that was part of.
We'll give your phone call. Whatever. Yeah, we said you followed and we thanked you.
And your little thing didn't go in the cup. All right.
Okay.
85 turns later, here's a Jace. Corey actually plays something relevant.
Talking about if you want to have 3 permanents on the board, counterbalance back to basics and Jace.
He called this a fair deck.
This heck's got to force this, right? And like.
Yeah.
Or phasing. Ooh, okay. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Gives you a little bit more reach.
Gets him a land back. Terminus on top. Mm-hmm.
Now Zach doesn't. Well, it's Corey's turn, but Zach's not going to really want to play any creatures in that. This is a tough spot.
So, just what is there anything to think about here? Why Corey can just pay 1 and move about his life, right? Like,
yeah.
Why is there a pause here?
I don't know. What?
That one wouldn't untap.
I can see why. Corey's got a ton of mana and he wants to have 3 mana up no matter what. For some reason, he's playing around something, and he's basically saying that Wasteland's going to connect with this Tundra if Zach wants to anyways.
Okay.
There's 2, he just drew 2 terminuses. That's always a tough spot, right? Because like, you can probably bluff the terminus on top, but you probably want to put like a 1 or a 2. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, terminus stops Grimmack, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
No, it doesn't. Grimmack's 7. You think I'd know? I've only played this card for like a year. It's definitely 7.
Yeah.
Duh.
6 and 1. It's 6, and then that one black one that's free.
Fish.
But it still stops Grimmack.
Yeah,
he plays a
Grimmack
Grimmack and then it goes away forever.
Yeah.
Some of those don't untap. Do you want to?
Yeah, I know, Captain QC. Whatever. That'll be our phone call. I'll tell you. I apologize.
They got it.
They got it. Okay. Zach is on the bus, crashing through the room out. Yeah, that's one of my favorite outs. I almost want to yell at Zach to scoop just because I don't want to draw, because he can win game 2. Mm-hmm. You know. Bus crashing through out. I'm glad Nate used that. I was using one of my references. My terminology's sticking.
Wait. He said he'd call you. He
I didn't say I would talk. Actually, I did say I would talk. I'll just talk in like a robotic voice. I'll just get one of those like pre-recorded ones.
I like that nobody else followed.
But he unfollowed the follow.
Yeah. There's 60 people in the room, and just Captain QC's like, phone call sounds kind of nice. I'm kind of alone right now. Someone to talk to would be great.
For my own safety, I didn't tell you when I would do this. I don't think I said when I would do it.
This is still game 1.
This is.
I haven't been super awesome on updating our title, but
so there's an infamous blue-white draw-go strategy, and this may even date back to the mono-blue days. And we're kind of seeing it play out here, where as the control player, you just sit back and don't lose, and have have just the inevitability of winning. Corey doesn't need to do anything. He's in control and pretty firm control, and time's ticking away. If this game ends in 10 minutes and there's 15 minutes left on the clock, there's a chance that maybe he wins.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just wins 1-0.
And these guys are playing pretty methodically, right?
Uh-oh. Wait, we hit a 2 minute.
Audio 2-2.
We had a 2 minute gap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was an expiration on that.
Yeah. You know, first of all, Captain QC. Not only do I not play Tundras, the next deck I'm going to be playing in Paper Legacy runs Gaia's Cradle, so you got to take that back.
He's going to bounce the Gurmag Angler, even though we know he has multiple terminuses. Okay. It's really, really the long game. Yeah. I would have a hard time doing that. If I was in this board state for Corey and I had those cards in hand, I'd have a hard time like playing that methodical.
Yeah, you're right. I understand 100%, but I mean, it's pretty sound though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how do you? I mean, it's hard to lose through this position.
The Gurmag Anglers will just eventually get stranded in his hand, right?
I kind of reference it a lot when you brainstorm people to death. Sometimes I have a buddy in the Maverick Discord, and there's no way I'm joining the Maverick Discord. But this is the scenario where you just brainstorm forever.
Yeah. All right, Abrupt Decay instead of on the counterbalance.
Why did he untap all of his lands?
It hit back to basics. Yeah.
I missed that part.
You probably wanted to go for the counterbalance, but it doesn't work when you only have an island.
You can't. You got to go on that.
Yeah. You just don't get to play Magic anymore. At least through the counterbalance, you might get to. Is Zach's phone almost out of batteries there? What that means?
I think so. Is that Zach's phone? Oh, we use Zach's phone. Oh. I feel bad because I told the backup match that the winner of it won an all expenses paid trip to Syria. And we're not even watching it.
To Syria? Huh?
Yeah, Rock of Syria. Christian didn't know where it was, so he seemed excited. Brian didn't seem excited.
Probably not. Okay, running out of Gurmag Angler into another bounce. But we know there's a terminus.
If he's got Stifle, no, he can just hardcast it.
Yeah.
Some combination of Stifle, Spell Pierce, and Daze. He's got Spell Pierce.
Oh, okay.
So he can Spell Pierce it.
So he's expecting Corey to pay 6 mana.
I don't think so. Zach probably.
Yeah. There's that one. It's on top. Rainstorm to go find. Ooh, AK cost 2. There's a Stifle.
Stifle's huge.
He can't play both Stifle and Spell Pierce though.
Can Corey have enough mana to hardcast it? Yeah, he can. He may not though. Corey has a hardcast counterspell, by the way. That's going to be really relevant.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see the counterspell.
Well, I mean, we were hoping for something, right? And Corey, of course, has answers because he cantripped till there weren't any more cantrips.
Yeah. He may just not have it. Well, there's only 3 more, whatever the card is. Ancestral Recall. No, it's not Ancestral Recall. Ancestral Accumulate Knowledge?
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, he can. He's got a plethora. This is what's the term? It's when you have the spoils, you've got too much. Like you have too many options. Like things are just too good. What do you call it? Like you've got a riches of spoils. You got the spoils of riches. You've got the spoils
It's
of
way too much fun.
riches
just to
spoils.
hear you saying the same
Riches
things over and over
spoils.
again to
The
try and
spoils
answer
of
that for you.
Spoils of riches. The richest spoils.
The plethora is the word.
No, it's not
The
plethora.
cornucopia of things.
Yeah, those are all in the same ballpark, but there's one term that people say a lot. Embarrassment of riches. Got it. He got it. He got it.
No, that's not
He
it.
got it. It's embarrassment of riches. He's got an embarrassment of riches.
Clavian.
Yeah.
You guys are making things up.
Embarrassment of riches. We did it.
Ancestral accumulated knowledge.
did
Correct.
it.
Yeah, that's what it does.
And we concede to that.
It took a while.
That was a 30-minute game.
We got there. Chat, we did it.
This is
Wait, we didn't do anything.
This is tough. I'm assuming we'll switch back to our other match, which is Food Chain versus Esperblade.
We get to see them starting out here.
Okay, cool.
This is
So this is
probably
Inquisition.
Game 2 or 3 here. And looks like Brian won game 1. This is not Reanimator. I'm so sorry. I thought he was maybe playing Reanimator.
As we watch this match, you're in a precarious position with your Zach. You got 20 minutes left. You're playing a non-Lightning Bolt Delver deck, and you're going against Miracles. I poured out my Lightning Bolts against Miracles if I'm playing Grixis Delver. If I've got 20 minutes left, I'm down 0-1, I'm keeping all 4 in. And I'm not playing around Terminus. I'm telling myself, we're just going to jam as hard as we can. I'm going to try to steal game 2 in as little time as I can, and then I'm gonna play smart game 3, knowing it's probably likely I'll draw, but game 2, you just need to go all in. I would even probably cut, Force of Wills and something like that. Even maybe it wouldn't, but I would be as much aggro as I could. We're tapping out for things.
How do you like this? Christian's playing a surgical extraction. He just draws off the top on a walking ballista that he was able to Thoughtseize away. That's pretty sweet.
It's not bad.
It doesn't end the game.
It doesn't end the game. It would a lot be better if it was Food Chain.
Right.
But so now the only way Brian can kill him is the old Miss Hologriffin strat.
Yeah, the old I beat you down with 3/3
which is slower. And against Christian Stick that runs Batter Skull, it's not as good.
Mm-hmm.
True Name too. True Name Batter Skull is gonna. The thing about Brian's deck is sometimes the aha moment of just walking listing you is the best way to do it. Brian and I helped Brian with a challenge a few weeks ago, and there were just so many times where we'd be like, "Oh man, looks like we're gonna lose," and be like, "Ah ha ha!
Oh, look at
walking ballista, you're
this
dead."
card, I won.
So
Neat.
this changes the game pretty significantly because now Christian can play at a much more mannered pace and doesn't have to necessarily make bad trades to stop Brian from comboing off.
Mm-hmm.
He can now be like, okay, I just need to present a clock and something Brian can answer. So I think you're going to see some sort of True Name Batter Skull play is my prediction to end this game. Yeah, I would have scooped 2 Clavian, but it's tough. It's tough because, Corey really wasn't doing anything. He just had to back to basics into counterbalance, and Zach runs Abrupt Decay, so he has answers. And he found one. It was just a combination of counterbalance, back to basics, all basic lands, and Jace, and 2 Terminus on top deck.
Just all those things.
Yeah.
Hey, perfect. Christian is running really hot off the top here. He gets a Stoneforge Mystic off the top. Goodness.
What? Oh, he put it in his hand.
Yeah. It dies.
I probably would have too.
We'll hang out and watch these guys for a little bit.
Give us a refresher from Miracles. I don't even know what's happening in the Miracles game, and I know at least 4 cantrips have been cast.
Right.
Or I'm a liar and they're not done sideboard.
They're still going.
One of the two.
That was the first Miracles game that we've watched that's felt that long and drawn out.
Yeah.
They've been.
That's what the
much
deck
more
wants to
different
do.
and
That's the archetype. That's that is at its best.
When he revealed. So now we're all arguing when he should have scooped.
Yeah.
When there was a Terminus on top. He has actually outs too, Terminus, right?
Yeah, because he had Stifle and he had the Stifle.
Spell Pierce. It almost worked.
Yeah, Muldrotha, the Battle Bondage card. Battle Bond.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Well, Droth is actually pretty interesting. Brian's been on and off of it. I'm not sure if he's playing it now. It definitely does things for you that no other card does in the deck. Sometimes your opponents will, like, Thoughtseize away Walking Ballistas. and they're sitting in your graveyard, and you would not have access to them, and then Muldrotha gives you access, stuff like that. It can be pretty powerful.
You know, I thought Muldrotha made everything cast for free.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
It's one of those weird cards that a lot of people misplay.
yeah.
Somebody tried to play all of their cards from their graveyard, not
Oh,
one of each type.
that was not said.
Hey, Mister, I'm in New York, and
Yeah, that's the
don't
second.
remember
That's
who
the
I'm talking
second
to.
thing, yeah. I think it's interesting. It's definitely me, and actually, I talked to somebody at work about Muldrotha. Ironically, today he was a Magic player, and he was talking to me about Commander, and he brought up Muldrotha. That's ironic. I brought that up. Yeah, it's interesting. I talked to somebody about Magic cards, specifically Commander. I didn't say it. You don't have proof.
This isn't recorded. Nope. Zach gets a Delver down in our other match. You guys can imagine the rest. It's fine.
Tundra's not a good start. But like I said, turning on those 4 wastelands.
This is what we do. We're gonna talk about the other match while you guys get to watch this match. So you still know what's happening in the undefeated match while getting your palette
Sword, yeah.
cleansed here.
Swords to Plowshare just kills Delver.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
imagine.
I told you knew what was gonna happen.
Imagine this is like, it's like 1942, you know, and I'm like, this is the radio, and like, you know, so good old baseball game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of you guys probably aren't watching anyway, so this works.
Thought Seas comes off of the Underground Sea. They're gonna get real confused. Someone who's just tuning in is like, what?
Mentor, Brainstorm, Pyroblast, Snapcaster, a Disrupt,
Oh wow, there is a
and a
disrupt.
Teferi.
Wow, that disrupt in the Thoughtseas would have been insane. Can you imagine? But no, he sorted the Delver. What a turn of events. Oh gosh.
You got like a radio voice going on now. Instead, we get to see a Pithing Needle. It's very, very exciting.
Shuts down that swords. This game is pretty handily in Brian's control, I think. Maybe not so much, actually. Well, no, it is. He's looking just for one food chain.
The Sword of Feast and Famine is sad against the Scourge.
Yeah, it's true. 33 blocks it.
And it's colorless.
It's got a weird ability that I always forget about, too. Like when it becomes like the... Right? What's the other... Doesn't it have another ability?
The Sword?
No, the Eternal Scourge.
If it gets targeted, it gets exiled.
Okay. I guess you wouldn't target it anyways, but... Yeah, okay, there's Batterskull. My portent for this match was that we would see a Batterskull followed by a True Name.
So,
eventually they would come.
all right, chat. What happened next in our Dark Threats versus Miracles matchup? I want you guys to guess. We had a Delver. It got swords. We had a Thoughtseize. Then what was next? It's the next logical conclusion.
Well, Miracles specifically in the blue decks really play around the cantrips. I mean, there's something to be said that Brainstorm is the reason you're playing blue, and Brainstorm encourages more draw card play, and Miracles uses the cantrips pretty effectively. What? You didn't tell him. No one guessed.
No, this match is in a dead standstill. Nobody's moving, doing anything. We've just seen this exact same board state for the past half hour. And here, this other match is actually quite interesting. Should we jump back over to?
Yeah, we'll jump back over there.
Here we go.
I'll if something exciting happens over here.
All right. To recap, Corey had a Tundra. It got wastelanded. He brainstormed, and Zach surgical extractioned the brainstorms out. And now we've got obviously this Tarmogoyf, and Zach knows Corey's full hand, and Corey doesn't know what Zach has at all. There we are. There you go. You were wrong. Back to basics. Wrong. Nice try.
This was the scenario that we kind of portrayed before the match started, where Zach could get under Corey by Corey having to play off of dual lands and then getting into a position where he can't afford to play around Stifle. He's now in that position. Sure, he's gotten the island, but there was a point where he had 0 permanence because of Wasteland, and now he's sitting with 2 lands, one of them being a fetch, and he's got it. He's got to find more lands. There's 2 lands. One of them being a wasteland of a land, and one of them being a fetch.
Yep.
And you almost need to have both. That's close. Good guess.
That was actually a great guess. I was joking because I did not expect surgical extraction on Brainstorm, but
that's an interesting move. I don't know.
When you're down to 1 land like that, and it's your 1 mana spell that you're able to actually cast.
What if he surgical the Flooded Strand? Would that be good?
Maybe.
I don't know. Here's an old-timey strat that
Still not guessing.
that was once upon a time in the Canadian Thresh Mirror. When surgical got printed, a lot of people would wasteland the Trop and surgical it, and then they can't win because their only threats are Nimble Mongoose, Termagoyf.
That was kind of weird right there. I'm not sure what that was.
It was True Name, and it got Pyroblasted.
Yeah, but why run it out? Just to get rid of the Pyroblast?
Yeah. But Snapcaster Mage provides the second one.
It grows your Goyf, I guess. Is that why? It speeds up your clock. That's got to be it. It turns it into a 3-turn clock instead of.
Is there a Swords to Plowshare in the graveyard though? This is going to sound insane. He can Swords to Plowshare right now and back it up with Divert or Disrupt or Disrupt, not Derupt, Disrupt, whatever the heck that box card is. The Kevin Spacey "What's in the Box" card. That's not going to call it from now on. This is insane.
Yeah.
He literally could Force a Will this, and he could disrupt him back.
Right. I'm not sure why running out the True Name there.
You know what? I don't know. Maybe Zach had the Force a Will, and he thought about forcing Will, and he decided not to. That's the only thing I could think of. He's got Stifle, though.
Yeah, but he was tapped out.
I know. That's why the whole Stifle bluff thing. I think what happened here is I think Zach probably felt threatened that he needs to win quickly, and so he probably did the True Name move and just kind of didn't put everything together. I think he could have forced the Will maybe, but then he realized about the Divert, right?
Yeah, and maybe he was hoping that Corey would run.
He probably just forgot about that weirdo
I'm not
card.
sure, seen it.
I think it was just a fumble. It was unfortunate, but Disrupt.
This game is disruptful. It's doing work. Zach knows entirely about it, and yet he's not able to do things because of it.
This is a tough situation for Zach because he had a really good start, but he didn't really capitalize it. And the Surgicling on the Brainstorm, we don't know this. It really didn't seem to help. Corey ended up just drawing out the lands anyways. He'd finding the Ponder. And I get this. There's some plays with Brainstorm that you shut off if you get rid of the Brainstorm. But at the point of the game where Corey just needs to find lands, I don't know. Maybe keep the Surgical. Maybe do the Swords. Surgical the Swords would have been a little better. Wait for the Snapcaster.
Yeah, now, but when you're playing Stifle and Wasteland, taking out the Brainstorm and hoping you draw a Stifle and ending the game quickly.
Well, that's the problem with the Stifle Wasteland strategy, much like the Thoughtseize strategy you talked about earlier, is sometimes they just draw out of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, maybe you want to see hand.
I think it's fine. Zach and I have talked about it before, and we've kind of come to the conclusion that it's got a time and a place to it, and it definitely kicks, Miracles really hard in the shin, but sometimes that adrenaline kicks in and you just keep going.
Yeah. Suddenly Corey's sitting here with, what, 5 lands?
I mean,
6 lands.
I mean, I can't paint this board state from what we saw earlier.
Right.
There was a point where Termagoyf was against 1 island, and the idea that now we're looking at 6 lands versus 4 lands, a Snapcaster, Monastery, Mentor in play, is ridiculous. And now Counterspell is going to back up anything. Teferi can be played. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that earlier, Rastalin and him, about 15 to 18, so.
But he took all the Brainstorms.
Yeah.
So all that was left was Ponder, and Ponder successfully.
It makes Terminuses a little worse.
Yeah. So Zach has cards he can play. He can play a Ponder, but all that really does is get countered, and it makes dudes. And so he's just sitting on them at the moment.
One thing I may have done was just fetch both basics out. Not both basics, but just fetch first before I played Teferi. Just to ensure that, like, I just don't get Spell Pierce stifled.
Force pitching Ponder.
So the Stifle's going to be able to catch one of these, so it's not going to allow Corey to Okay.
Got a couple monks coming down.
Oh, he's going to let it go.
Maybe.
I think this is the beginning of the end. I just don't think Zach can beat Teferi, right? He doesn't have Assassin's Trophy, and his just interaction level with it's just going to be almost nothing. I just can't imagine. Is there a line where Zach can fire back into this game if this Teferi resolves?
Spell Pierce. On the, what, counterspell?
Hey Nate, if Disrupt was Flusterstorm, would you have countered it? I'm not telling Corey that. He should still have one blue open, right? Right, because he fetched.
And then he
fetched it.
He cast counterspell and it got spell pierced.
Okay, so there's again. Never mind.
Okay. Kill everything except the monk. Ooh, it's not as potent.
Not as potent. Not
what if you target a portent?
I was going to say not as confused as portent.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think Zach's line was this. I think Bryce said it right. I think it was my opponent's land screwed right now. I'm going to cut off Brainstorm and see if I can just like hang on and win through this Termagoyf.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. I think my play would have been to cut off the swords and just try to see if I can force him into a Terminus and then land another threat afterwards. But
and like you said, he wanted to win quick too, right?
Yeah, and I think you kind of saw him kind of go on different paths, and I think if Zach had this game back and didn't have the pressure of time, I think we see him play it a little differently. There was that true name play too. There's just a few different things that kind of really dictated that pressure is being put on him.
All right, I'm gonna jump away from this game and show you what's happening in Food Chain versus Esper Blade. And I'll keep it up just in case, like I said, anything happens that's worth showing. This is the same game. No, this isn't the same game. They can hear us.
It kind of looks different. No, because there's an Eternal Scourge and a Mishal Griffin out. Flusterstorm and Assassin's Trophy I don't think were played. Well, there's the Pithing Needle.
Right?
This may be the same game.
I'm not sure.
That Pithing Needle, it's curious to see what it'd be on.
Travis, go ahead and close that door all the way, if you wouldn't mind. Okay. Thanks, sir.
I'm trying to figure out who's in the better position right now. And I think Brian is. I think Brian's kind of driving the game a little bit more.
So if this is the same game, then Surgical Extraction hit Walking Ballistas. Yeah. So this is the same game. No, they're right there in his exile.
Where do you see that?
He just found it.
Okay.
So this is, I'm pretty sure this is game 2. I actually don't know, but I know that Brian won a game since Christian started this one out. Nope, same game.
Yeah. It's the same game. It is the same game. Dampening Sphere just went to the yard because of Thoughtseize, though. Like, literally right now, it just happened. Solus and Solar. Solus and Solar. Why did I say Solar? Yeah. That whole Porton thing has just like spun me to a different universe. I'm in that guy.
You still have the art up?
Yeah. That guy's gonna show up in my bedroom tonight. Not for any weird stuff.
You don't already have that on the wall?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm intrigued by it.
You're gonna paint that from memory?
I'm gonna Liz Danforth.
She's done some great cards.
I'm gonna send her an email.
A lot of homelands.
Whoa, yeah, it's got the great him to
Him
Torah.
to Torah is a Liz.
That card's a little odd. Yeah, this is some neat stuff. But that one, I know everything that's happening in these pictures except that one.
When you've been looking at Magic cards for 4 hours and suddenly you realize you've never actually looked at this particular Magic card before.
It's always just been Crappy Ponder.
Portent.
Well, no, it's a Crappy Ponder. It is Crappy Ponder.
Yeah, I see.
But yet different. Yeah, I like Brian's point right here. Jace goes down. This Academy of Ruins isn't doing that much work because there's really nothing that's in there. I mean, he's going to start to bounce Batterskull and throw it back.
Well, it could be Pithing Needles, right?
I think he bounced it. Didn't Jace bounced it? Jace went to 2.
We're drawing a bunch of cards and seeing that Brian was only going to draw lands for the rest of forever.
So then,
and so Christian gets that game.
Does he?
Yep, with a Batterskull equipped on a True Name.
Wait a minute. Are you sure? Because I swear that somebody at the beginning of this game said that it would end with a True Name equipped to a Batterskull. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
The chat remembers it.
Does anybody?
The North remembers.
No,
chat remembers.
remember.
And they remember that. I said, I'm going to paint you a picture. Christian wins this game with a True Name and a Batterskull. And that's how the game ended.
Because the Walking Ballistas went away, right? And,
Sure.
and
yeah, that was part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was part of it. That actually absolutely was. We determined that line would happen because it would allow Christian to set that play up.
So I guess we missed a game where Christian won one, and so Christian wins this one 2-1.
Yeah.
Or they just went to time and they decided they can't finish it. I'm not sure which.
I ported that to reality. You're right. That is interesting. I'll ask Brian about that. He's a food chain master, so I'm surprised that happened. If it was, maybe some other freak thing happened. I don't know. But yeah, is our Miracles game officially over?
Yeah, they're finished.
Well, we had some fun Magic tonight. I really enjoyed it. A lot of interaction, a lot of different stuff, a little spice with some Tezzeret stuff. Yeah, that's really all I got to say. We delved in and we ported into some new ideas, new concepts. We got some follows. I owe Captain QC a personal phone call.
You guys saw this card way too much.
Porton.
There it is.
That's, I'll try to make it Saturday, Nate, hopefully. But,
we'll have some Modern on Friday night, like we're having now. I'm pretty sure somebody will be casting that, right? And then yes, definitely all day Saturday is a big Legacy qualifier for us here, and I will be here with Kyre. So join us. You guys don't have anything to do Saturday, so you should be on Twitch and watching some.
Or just
some
come
Magic.
Play if you live in Utah. Come play.
Yeah, that's a thing you can do too. You get to the qualifiers for the 29th team event is our big. December 29th is a big tournament.
Yeah. So
thanks for joining us, chat.
That's it.
If you haven't, and you want to now, you can give us a follow, and Terry probably won't give you a phone call.
Give you a personal phone call.
Yeah. We've started giving out personal phone calls, Brian.
We got some follows because I promised people personal phone calls to thank them. Captain QC unfollowed to follow.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Does Captain QC like you that much?
Some people follow after.
We don't have any of their phone numbers, so I'm not sure how they're going to get a personal
They
phone
gotta
call.
send it.
No, yeah, they'll have to message him.
Whoa, Ian might show up and play some Magic. You should do it.
That's what I heard.
You other people should show up too. Yeah, for some Legacy.
I'm thinking about actually playing this tournament.
You should play.
You should do that too.
It's been a long time since you played one of these.
What happens if you qualify?
Then it blows up.
The whole system
It just
breaks.
blows up.
Yeah, then I have to find 2 teammates.
Okay. Hey, thank you guys for joining us.
I have declined several invitations to play so far.
I'm playing standard. I got roped into playing standard.
Whoa.
My standard strategy is either to play just guy control or to find another standard player to take my place.
Real
Go
quick,
with the
real quick.
second
We got
strategy.
some people that we don't know what happened. Come give us the breakdown of what happened in that match.
Yeah, they
Real
want to know.
fast.
They're confused, and they also
I'm
want to know
confused.
What do you mean?
how did the internal scourge get to your hand?
What do you mean?
How did internal? At one point, it got to your hand, and you recast it, correct?
No, I recast it from Exile.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, he picked up Exile, and so
Rastalin, you told
did
me
you
played
win-
from his hand.
game 2, but not game 1.
I played it from my hand first, and then I
Yeah.
went to
Okay,
Exile.
sounds
after
good.
the game. I won game 2.
And so game 1, how'd that go?
He won it. Just he got enough one. Like I got stuck on a swamp
Okay.
for the first 3 turns of the game.
Okay.
Because I kept a 1-line hand. I'm like, okay, this is fine. And then he beat me.
And then game 3, did it
Game
matter
3
that Walking Blisses got exiled?
Yeah, it did.
You got a food chain down, and it.
No, I never got the food chain down, but he had, he just had Jace pressure, and I couldn't put enough on it, and I couldn't find any of my removal for the Batter Skull.
Sure.
And like I should have put my Pithing Needle on Batter Skull, knowing it was there. So
What
that
was
it
it on?
couldn't bounce back. It was on Wasteland
Oh.
Would
or
you?
Jace.
would
I
you-
think that was a mistake.
Would you say when you got your Walking Blisses surgical, the first thing that popped into your head was, "Wow, this game may end with the true name of being equipped by a Battle Soul and killing me"?
I didn't think that, but I knew
'Cause
that,
that's what I said.
I knew that it was going to be. I knew that it was going to be a very hard game.
I called it.
Because I can't beat True Name unless I can find my stuff. And that when he got the Inquisition of Kozilek on the top, and I'm sitting on a Toxic Deluge that I drew off my Manipulate Fate, it's just like, okay, like cool.
That was my portent. I portented into the future, and when that happened, I said, "This is going to slow the game down to enough where Brian's."
Trinity Nemesis didn't win game 1. It was literally Lingering Souls that won game 1.
It kind of
Me
makes
being
sense.
stuck on 1 land.
Oh, we need everybody's opinion on this thing.
What's the opinion?
on this? What is happening? What in this art?
Yeah, what's your opinion?
What's going on?
Talk to me
Have you
about
noticed
it.
there's snails?
What?
There's
Yeah.
snails.
There's some fish.
There's
There's a
fruit
turtle.
roll-ups.
Sorry.
There's some snails.
Fruit roll-ups. Don't forget
You can
that.
See it a little here.
Have we talked about the wallpaper?
We'll save that for another stream.
Yeah, I don't know what's really.
There's
happened.
fruit by the foot. That's in like a knot, and the turtle has arms.
Is this guy okay? Have we even established if he's alive and okay?
Maybe
'Cause
it's
he
a
doesn't
statue.
look good.
I don't know.
He doesn't. He looks pale, and his eyes are rolled back. I say that's the way we end it.
All right, guys.
What a great day.
Can't fight with
I'll
that.
see you guys on Saturday. Have a good.